I've been listed as difficult.
Oh.
No.
That's my understanding. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I really don't care. Like if I get on,
See, and that's what makes you difficult because you don't give a shit.
yeah, no. When you look at a producer and go, "Hey, book my flight tomorrow because I don't need this shit. I actually have a skill set I can use in the real world tomorrow. I'll be making money tomorrow. Like I don't need your TV." They don't like that.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Dirt Drive podcast for the long-awaited return of me, Trevor. I've been gone for a while. Yeah, thank you, PJ.
I think we have that button. Don't we?
Yeah, do we? I don't know.
No?
Nope.
Nothing. Nothing.
That's not working. Lame.
Did you not remember that Tim removed all the sound effects off that thing?
I did not. No. Like I said, Tim normally sits here.
Oh, boy. All right, yeah, so we'll just go around the room and introduce ourselves.
Yeah. Tom, my usual self. This is a terrible intro. This is my first day.
And to my left is the ever-famous Patrick Starr.
Hello.
Oh, that was terrible.
That was bad. We are we're minus Timothy.
Yeah,
He's,
Timothy.
He's in the hospital. It was a tragic accident.
Called his honeymoon.
Boating accident.
Yeah, it was a tragic boating accident where he went and got married and then went to Mexico. He's not back yet, so the tragedy's pending.
Did he get abducted by an Uber driver?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
It is Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also true.
Yeah.
PJ, would you like to introduce the gentleman to
Our
your
very
left?
special guest.
Yes, our very special guest.
I wouldn't say special, but
We're
special in
all
a different
li-
type of way. How
we're
about
all
that?
little
We're all
special.
Yeah,
We're
there
all
you go.
special on the inside in some
The
way.
shop
kids.
rat, Abe Wine.
Hey, what's happening? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, interwebs.
Hi, boys and girls.
If you would like to introduce yourself, sir, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. Hi, I'm Abe Wine. Abe Wine. Some of you know me, some of you don't. And I mean, I have Shop Rat Metalworks. I always tell people to go to shopratmetalworks.com. Do the whole plug thing, but
We do that at the end.
I know. Okay, cool.
Do it whenever you want, really.
Yeah, no. I'm local to I'm local-ish to the area. I'm actually local to where you guys come and wheel at.
Yep.
That's where I grew
Yeah.
up. I'm born and raised out, the edge of the Appalachians, just past the Blue Ridge Mountains. Yeah. So yeah, I just do stuff, and I happen to have lucked in the TV once or twice. And so yeah,
Once
Yeah.
or twice.
once or twice.
Just a
Yeah.
small stick.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna say that's probably my top question is how you lucked into that.
Man, that's a good thing. Like we don't have a time limit. Seriously.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
That's what the whiskey's for.
yeah. So everybody knows. I've actually known him for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, it's probably 2014.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It was like after season 1 of Truck Night.
Okay.
So I'm a gun guy. So if you're not, sorry. I am. I'm all about the Second Amendment, which
Do you
we
see
can
the
get
house
into.
that you're in right now?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like we're in the middle
we
of nowhere.
can we can talk about how that actually got me in trouble on TV before too, as well later
I'm
on.
sure it'll get us in trouble at some point.
Yeah. Well, they won't let you on now. So
That's right. We have faces for radio.
yeah.
Thank
I
God for
don't think
podcasts.
I have a face for TV, but they said I did, so I went.
It's the tattoos.
Yeah. That's what I said. That's
It looks like a convict. He'll be perfect.
Yeah. No, it was
your
really
guy.
funny. Yeah. It's funny because everybody that meets me like, oh, you must be the way I dress. Half the time, I'm like, oh, you must be either from Austin or like SoCal. I'm like, nope. Like where we're
Bumfuck
from,
Virginia.
Yeah, like Winchester, Virginia. Oh, yeah. It's like, well, I didn't really grow up in Winchester. It was split between a little place called Cross Junction, which
Yep.
is like 15 minutes away from the Cove.
Yep.
And then I went to high school in Front Royal.
Okay.
That's how you
there
know
it is.
that.
There it is. For anyone who
Fro-ro.
would like to know, as you go across a map of America, you always know the people who grew up there and the people who are tourists.
Yep.
Yes, we call them leafers.
Front Royal.
For and some of you Loudoun County people, that's what we called you. Sorry, we called you leafers because you would come out of the. Well,
I'm not from here. So.
Yeah, so I mean,
None
people,
of us are from
Yeah,
he's,
PJ is.
he's from
Oh,
here.
I'm sorry, PJ.
Man,
But no, I mean, you know the type.
He's from
They-
the original Loudoun County, though, when it was just farmland.
Yeah, yeah. Before it was like all this. What is it? They're number 1 richest county in
Yes.
the country now.
We're number 2 this year.
Oh, number 2 this year. I'm sorry.
Who are we
Damn.
behind?
Montgomery County.
Yeah.
Fuck
What?
those guys.
Anyways,
You haven't been to Rockville in a while.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery. No, I don't go into Maryland, which just sucks because I want to go visit, a King of the Hammers champion who's just like an hour north.
Yeah,
But
Miller Motorsports.
yeah. Every once in a blue moon, I'll be like, hey, man.
Yeah, but that state line is real aggressive.
I know. Well, see, I got a border, so if you go into Cross Junction, Virginia, I always say we're in the armpit of West Virginia. Because the panhandle comes around us,
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
That's okay. He's from the armpit of the country,
hey,
New Jersey.
Joyzy.
So much hate.
Yeah.
You hate it too.
I don't hate it. I just hate some of the people.
Disliked it
from
enough to move away.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I was going to say, you lost the accent for a reason, I'm sure.
I never had the accent.
Really?
This is so. I went to college in Pennsylvania, and basically, as soon as I lived in Pennsylvania,
Bumfuck Pennsylvania.
Williamsport. I was like, man, this is
Oh,
this is way better than New Jersey, and I just
and that was
continually-
Williamsport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but the thing about Williamsport was it's kind of like here where you have a city where you have everything you want, and then you drive 20 minutes in any direction, and you're in the woods.
Yep.
yep.
So, well, it's actually funny.
I don't
you
know if
say
it's that aggressive.
It is.
But,
In Pennsylvania?
No, Williamsport, yes.
Pennsylvania.
So, I don't ever talk about my father's side of the family because I didn't really know my father that well. I'm one of those kids.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you, my grandparents on that side they're amazing people. They had to take care of all these kids. They were good people. So like McConnellsburg, like go over the mountain, like was it Shippensburg
Sounds familiar.
area, like straight up 522, and then you get on
Shippensburg,
70 for a minute, then you jump back on 522. So yeah, that's like middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So when you
cold
said that,
country.
yeah. So
That's where Tom walks from.
that's
too.
where my father's
Well, he's
side of the
Pittsburgh,
family's
but
from.
True, but
All right, so back to TV because we got on.
Yeah, we got on a tangent. That's
Yeah.
what happens on
Yeah,
podcasts.
yeah,
right?
okay.
on
kind
this
of-
podcast, yes.
So-
No, it's the point of a podcast.
Also true.
Straight line, just kind of.
Yeah.
What straight line?
But, like,
when
I'm-
have we ever driven in a straight line?
We're the rock crawlers
Yeah.
of talking.
We just picked the trail.
The straightest line we get is 7 to 28.
Ain't no breadcrumbs on this trail.
Yeah.
All right, and redirecting for the second time in 30 seconds.
No, so TV, essentially, to be 100% frank, I was helping out my family shop. I was going through a rough spout in between jobs. I was back out of my family shop at my in-laws half the time, and I had filled out an application online for an ad. I think it was from Discovery Channel, as a matter of fact, for a fabricator. They needed a shop fabricator personality type, and it didn't say what show. It didn't. It was a very vague ad.
Yeah.
So I filled the ad out, and like, you got to send a picture in, and I'm like, I don't
The
know.
face sealed the deal.
Yeah. No. So it's funny. I actually didn't get that spot. So it turns out, yes, I got you there, didn't I?
The face sealed the deal.
Yeah, exactly. It stands either way you look at it. So no, applied for it. I ended up doing this interview process, and it's really weird when you're, like you said, out in the middle of nowhere, Virginia. You start getting these phone calls from like Beverly Hills or Hollywood and these weird California numbers, and of course we all think it's scammers. So you're hitting the deny button, and then you get
Please
the
pick
voice.
up your phone.
Yeah. So you got to do like Skype interviews anytime you do this stuff, whether you're a contestant or whatever they're interview for. Most of the time it's a Skype interview. So I did one or two of those, and it's like rounds. You basically go through rounds usually. I made it to like the second or third round, at which point they tell me what the show was for. They tell me everything it was. I was, at the time, you got to remember this is years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody knew Aaron Kaufman had quit Fast and Loud yet. It hadn't been aired on TV. Like, nobody knew. And, of course, they didn't tell me what show it was for. So I didn't know that's what show for. So I ended up interviewing to replace Aaron. Not that,
no
and
shit.
Aaron's very talented. I'll make it clear.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I could replace him at all. So
Yeah.
let's just get that
Yeah, but
cleared
they
up.
don't care. They just need some.
Right, they just
need a body
need
that
some
can weld.
guy that somewhat knows what they're doing that they think will be entertaining, because that's really how TV works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you ever wonder why like everything's such a sob story with violins playing? It's
That's what brings in the money.
right.
That's
Well,
the whole
the
point.
way it was explained to me is
If we don't finish
okay.
this job, we're going to lose the shop.
Right. Yeah. Well, like truck night. So most of the guys, quote unquote guys, are going to watch. Like, so how do we make it to where their wives want to watch it with them to encourage it? So we give them some like sob story, and they're all emotional about it, and they get into it
dumped.
too. Right, yeah. Just got dumped.
Yeah. He's got 17 kids. And
Right.
He's got to feed his family.
Yeah. So you always have these weird stories like that. And some of them are like 100% legit, so you want to like help them out. But anyway, so I interviewed for that. And actually, like the season after Aaron left, if I remember correctly, they kind of like that show just
pretty much
fizzled out.
Yeah.
Richard Rollins had some issues he was dealing with. We'll say he was fighting some legal battles, and that show ended up fizzling out. And that time after that, I ended up listening to my father-in-law and accepting a job at Fairfax County DVS, which is Department of Vehicle Services. Huge mistake. I can't do government work.
Yeah.
I can't, and I'm gonna make
Which
enemies.
part of it?
So, oh gosh,
Yes.
I've got a buddy who's a mechanic for a power company, and I'm like, what do you do all day? He's like, change oil and sit around and watch TV. I'm like, that doesn't annoy you? Like that would.
He's
I would
getting
lose
paid.
my- I'd lose my
That
mind.
takes a special kind of person, and he is that kind of person.
Oh yeah.
So within the same month of being at the county, which you don't make jack. So just for reference, anybody doesn't know, Fairfax County is also like in the top 10 richest counties in the country.
Oh yeah.
Because they have all these Fortune
much
5.
everything in DC is.
Yeah, the metro area. Yeah, they're always fighting with like New York and then LA, basically.
So what were you doing for the county?
I worked on. I didn't really work on the school buses. I was mainly working on like their big rig side of things.
Okay.
And there wasn't really anybody that could aluminum weld. I'm saying that with quotations because there was guys that said they could aluminum weld, and
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now they couldn't aluminum weld. And I'm not trying to be cocky. Like it is what it is. Yeah. So that's all their walking floor trailers for like the trash, like the dumps.
Yeah.
They're all aluminum.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do you want your kid riding down at 95 next to a trailer that's been welded by some tchotchke that can't weld very good?
Yeah.
That's what epoxy's for.
Yeah. I could
JB
share.
Weld.
Yeah. No,
That's why they're
it's-
getting pulled over by the state troopers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No.
Not the county vehicles.
No.
Yeah.
No, anything
All the
listed
private
there.
ones
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say any of this because I
all right.
still know some very high up people in that department.
Statute of limitations. That was a while ago. You're good.
You said the guys couldn't weld, so I'm assuming they're not there anymore. I mean, come on, guys.
You're not allowed to fire anybody at the government. So
I'm aware.
Okay, I'll just put it out there. So I know my father. How I even got the job was my father-in-law knows the second in command
Okay.
for Fairfax DVS, and that guy used to work for the Sheehy Group.
Well, there's your first problem.
Well, that guy was the quote-unquote problem solver. So if something wasn't like making them money, his job for about a year and a half, 2 years, was to go around and we'll just say, straightened it out. That was his job. Yeah, I'm getting glared at because I'm pretty sure he's met him. So he now works for Fairfax County, right?
I really wish this was video recorded because
Yeah,
that
the death stare I'm getting right
like,
now. Yeah. So anyway, he went to the county, and he's used to, let's just say, like, kicking ass and taking names and restructuring to make profit. When you're in a government entity, it's not about making profit.
Yeah.
And it's not even about saving money. It's actually about how much
using your entire budget.
Yeah, it's literally
So you can get more for the next year.
overspending. Right.
Yeah.
So when I was at the county right before I got let go because of truck night, actually. So we can get into that.
So wild.
Yeah.
Oh, we will.
Oh, yeah.
You're the only person to get fired.
Yeah. When I got quote unquote let go, they were asking me because they knew my background and all my family has multiple shops. Like cousins have shops. My grandfather and uncle have a shop. ShopRite Metalworks is actually a side hustle for me, which I think we talked a little bit about earlier before we started.
Yep.
So they were asking me certain things, even though I was like bottom rank. They're asking me my opinion, which is really weird. So I was like, well, so their welder, like the machine they had was a generator operated Miller welder that we were running in a building to run a spool gun setup to weld the trailer. Yeah, just made my head. I see your brain's locking
He doesn't
up.
even know how to weld, and his brain's
Yeah,
exploding.
his brain's exploding.
That sounds absolutely like government work.
It does, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
Inefficient?
Yeah.
I
17
put-
overseers, one guy working.
Yeah, so they wanted to know how much, they were trying to blow, like, as you guys said, they're trying to spend as much as possible. And overspend is what their goal is.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we put in for a 350p Miller. I asked for like the 15-30 foot, what we call push-pull lead, which pushes the wire out of the machine, and then there's a gear-driven head at the end that pulls the wire. So for aluminum, because aluminum bends so easily, the wire, for anybody who doesn't know. So I put in for that, and then an iron worker, because I wanted an iron worker if I was going to be there. I'm like, making patch panels, this will be like foot pedal, cut the patch panel in like 10 seconds instead of like using a skill saw, which works great, but metal.
How much does one of those run?
15, like 15 grand.
How much space do you need for one of those?
A lot.
No.
Well, I guess for aluminum panels, not.
Well, no, like so like a 100-ton iron worker would take up the space of your crate and your TV here in this.
I don't feel like they would
So it'll fit.
Yeah, but
We just don't have the budget for it.
no.
Yeah, it's like 15. Yeah, it's like 15,000.
And we also don't have the space.
Well, it depends. So you can
Yeah.
get cheaper ones. Like you can get some
Yeah.
like 40-ton, 50-ton.
Yeah.
Like I just said 100-ton because I think that's what they got. I could be misquoting. Forgive me. Wouldn't be the first.
No, it's the
time.
government. They
Yeah, it's-
they
yeah.
got the biggest
Yeah.
one.
And of course, the welder, like a 350p Miller at that time, was like almost what that setup was like $6 grand.
Yeah.
So it was over 20-some grand. Well, when I left, when I got quote unquote let go for doing
took it.
truck night, no,
Nobody knew how to run
wish
it.
nobody knew how to run it. Yeah. So I went back to visit some of the cats there when I got done with the first season of Truck Night, and I went back to visit some of the guys at the county. The machines were still wrapped in cellophane sitting in the corner.
So you never even got to
I
use
never
it.
got to use them.
I had a similar experience with that. When I graduated, I went and worked at a car museum, and right before I left the car museum, we were prepping like 20 cars out of the collection to go to Barrett-Jackson. And I left, I guess like November. Barrett-Jackson's January.
Right.
And I'm getting phone calls at the end of December and during the auction. They can't figure out how to start this car. Do you remember how to start the 36 cord? Yeah, you got to put the key in, give it 2 pumps. Starter's the little button next to the clutch.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. But you got to make sure the battery is on. That battery switch is under this seat. I'm like, they're literally driving. Like I'm watching it live on TV, and I'm just like in the background. I can see people scrambling. I'm like, oh, they can't figure out how to start that car again.
You should feel honored. That is an original car museum story that even I've never heard of.
Oh, really?
There you go.
I've heard almost every car museum story.
I think all three of us have never heard that story.
That's amazing.
So the question is, how many car museum stories? Is there?
Remember
a
how we
few.
said he's got ADHDs?
Yeah.
Hey, give me another half hour.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You'll hear a couple more.
We'll circle back.
Yeah.
That's very corporate of you.
Yes. We'll circle back.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you got fired from Fairfax for truck.
No.
Well-
Let go.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. So here, all right. I
Was it a
never,
you
so
can,
I was never
you can
supposed
quit
to be
or
on
we'll
truck
fire
night.
you situation?
It was basically. So I was never. So full disclosure, like I can talk about it. I'm not under contract anymore. So I
Even if you were, would you care?
no,
Yeah,
no,
there you
that's
go.
part of the reason my phone isn't
We're a
ringing.
small podcast. You're good.
Yeah, no, my phone isn't ringing to get
Yet.
called back.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see.
Give it a
Which
couple
we can,
days.
I can even prove that as well. Anyway, so I'm working at Fairfax County. I've been there for a few months. I I got Employee of the Month one time, and yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
So you went from the high point to the low point.
very quickly, might I add.
It's a very, very productive quarter.
Yes. Well, no. So attest to what you're saying. The big rig side of things, they would have a rack full of like big rig tires and wheels,
Yeah.
pre-assembled, like they've already been mounted, balanced, whatever.
Okay.
And you just got to go to the parts room, say, "Hey, I need tire for this unit number," and they would come unlock it and they give you your wheel and tire, and you would roll your other one, the old one that's flat, back into another rack. And then the day shift, I was on second shift. The day shift guy would come in. That's what his job was, to make sure that the racks were full of tires and discard of the old tires.
That's surprisingly efficient of the government.
Here's where it's not efficient. So even though those tires are already done up for you,
Oh boy.
you got paid like an hour and a half to change a wheel and tire on a big rig. Now everybody's like, "Oh, it must be hard." I got yelled at for doing it in 12 minutes.
You need to do it in at least 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm watching guys, because
no such thing as flat rate.
right, there's not, which I don't. My family shops hourly,
Right.
and we try to look out for our customers. That's I've heard you guys talk about it on this podcast before.
Yeah.
It's just what you do when you want to have a good quality business and you want to have a good rapport with your customers, right? So that's the mindset I come from, which isn't the mindset of government work. And I know there's government workers who can be like, "Oh, shut up! You don't know what you're talking about." Like, I get it. Some of you guys,
my father-in-law would agree with you.
Yeah. So some of them really do try, and I give it to them, but not all of them.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I was never supposed to be on truck night. Like they passed me over.
Conflict with, like you say, you got fired because of truck night.
So the guy that had interviewed me for like the Gas Monkey stuff, remembered that my family had a truck shop. Like I've actually to this day, with the exception of the car I bought my girl when we found out we were having our first child. Like I've only driven that car like twice.
What is it?
Her dad has been the parts manager for Radley Acura for over 30 years.
No shit.
Yeah. So he's worked for the Radleys. He's like personal friends with the Radleys, and now he wears multiple hats within that Radley group.
I would hope so after 30 years.
Yeah. So she's been brainwashed into Acura. Sorry, babe. I love you to death.
It's a Honda. It's not, not the worst thing.
But I found her. She really wanted, what was it? It's an Acura TL Type S A-Spec, like an official A-Spec car. It's a 2008 or 9.
Okay. God damn.
Yeah, so it's like an official, like the full from Acura A-Spec TLL. That's her car. That's one of her dailies.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's actually a cool car.
What's your count?
How many vehicles?
Yeah. See if it stacks up to him or Freddie.
So I would imagine it's above mine at this point.
No, not as much as you think. I grew up a poor. I grew up I really grew up poor, guys. Like I come from
rural.
Well, from rural for one.
Yeah, but that's what led me to all my cars. Was I was always buying a $500 car, so I had a new car every 6 months.
Well, the problem is I thought about doing that, but then I kept dumping money into it.
One and the same.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really the same thing.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the same thing, but
have you ever bought a parts car that was nicer than your driver? Because that happened to me twice.
I have. So
I thought that was only once.
Yeah. That was my BMW
You should feel real special. These are originals.
Yeah, I know,
here.
right? There was that one time you don't know about, guys.
Yeah. He feels dirty about it.
It really it all loops together.
Was it another E30?
Yeah, it was all the same car. I had like 5 of them.
So, there's a buddy of mine that actually used to own Handmade Tattoo, Kenny, who works at another tattoo shop in Winchester. I think it's Night Wolf. But anyway, that guy goes through more. Sorry, Kenny, but he goes through more vehicles. Like he pulled up to my
Does
my
he go
family.
through more than Freddie?
This guy probably. I know he's been through 4 XJs. 2 he still has. He's bought 4 or 5 XJs just in the last 3 or 4 years.
Jesus.
He's went through a BMW and Audi. He's back in another Audi TT. He bought his wife.
Gotta love the TTs.
Yeah, he bought his wife. I think it was either Audi or Beamer, like SUV thing used. Like all the stuff's used. Now, like him personally, most of it's like, shit. It's like straight up shit boxes.
That's
like
okay.
the Audi TT he got. Everybody's like, oh, driving an Audi. He got it off some dude in the hood. And it was like a $1,500 shitbox Audi TT.
Hey, man.
And it runs, so he's just driving the
Whatever,
wheels off.
drive it till it's dead.
But yeah, no, the problem is I keep too much. I have all right. So the list I got. My daily is.
Do you still have your first car?
I do. 79 Ford F100 2-wheel drive short bed.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. That was my first truck. I've had it. It was originally my stepfather's. And he kind of sold something else that was supposed to be mine. And so then I was like, all right, well, here's this. And that's now mine. Like we did some horse trading basically.
Okay. That's awesome that you still have your first car.
I still have, it's in pieces. And I wish we had video because I would
you could send it to us.
We
put up a little photo gallery.
So I had to take Scratch back to the airport today. And as I'm doing that, my uncle texts me. He's like, hey, you need to trim the tree. It's in your truck. So my first,
that kind of pieces.
That sounds like your yard for a while.
Yeah.
So my poor 79 F100, like I will not. I've had people offer me money. I'm like, no, I don't want to sell it.
Is the motor still in it?
No,
Okay.
That's why the tree is growing up through the engine bay.
Yeah.
You have
So
got
it's
to
tree
send us
powered.
that picture.
I will go get a picture for you.
It's a true Prius then.
Yeah,
Tree-powered.
yeah.
You're giving back to the environment.
Like the hood, there's a spare front clip and a hood back in the bed. And the motor's on the engine stand, which I ended up
Oh,
finished.
so the motor's protected.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So when I was in high school in Front Row, I worked for Matthews Auto. They're in between the double bridges. And I worked for them. Howard Matthews is now not a part of it. His son's still a part of it, but Johnny Keene was the other owner. He's still the main owner now. And Johnny found me like this 5.0 Mustang motor, like that guy wanted to get rid of because I had snapped the crank in the old 7302.
That'll happen. That'll happen.
I was doing hole shots out in front of the high school one day, trying to be a cool kid.
No.
Yeah, right. And it was weird. Like the truck wheel hopped.
I don't get that from your personality at all.
Not at all. And it was wheel hopping so bad that I ended up like.
Yeah.
Because it was a 9-inch, so that's not going anywhere. Yeah. Somehow the drive shaft held together.
Hey.
Wow.
And I was going back up to my grandfather's in Cross Junction from Front Row one day, and I was like, man, I'm really down on power. And I get to my shot, and it's making a weird noise. Like, I called him my uncle. I said, hey, take a look at this. And he revs it up. He goes, well, there's your problem. Either the thrust bearing's out or the crank's broke. What do you mean? He goes, watch. He revs it, and I watched the cam pulley like move in and out like a quarter of an inch to an inch, and I'm like, what the? I'm 16 or 17. I'm still learning. I'm like, how does that happen?
You learned hard.
Yeah,
that
I
day.
learned hard. Yeah, I learned really hard. So anyway, we ended up shoving like a 5.0 out of a 93 Mustang in it.
Okay.
And I got like a B Ford Motorsports cam, and I had like headers, full exhaust, and the guy kept all the fuel injection stuff. So Edelbrock intake, 650 carb, the whole.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, so nothing like crazy, but. For a 17-year-old in Front Row, I was
crazy enough.
Yeah, it's crazy enough.
It's engine swapped at that point. Crazy enough.
Yeah, so I still have that. Whoops, there it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So I still have that truck.
I'm surprised none of us have done it
Yeah,
yet.
the motor's in the shop, and I've redone it again. And I was going to build it when I did season 1 of Truck Night. I was going to put it in a 78 Denside Super Cab that I have.
Okay.
And I was going to chop the whole ass into that truck off and do like a truggy. Which I'm still probably going to do at some point.
I was going to say, that sounds awesome.
And Bender actually like sent me how he wanted to do the rear suspension, like the rear like back half.
Yeah.
So I have all that like saved, and like it's still a possibility I'll do it. Probably will.
You should
at some point.
You should definitely do
I
it.
know,
Yeah,
but
do it. Come on, Darth Sidious, let's go.
Yeah, I have too many projects. You guys know how it is.
You and everybody else.
I know. But the pain projects is kind of where I'm focusing.
Yeah.
Well, I had to draw
work
a line.
on the stuff that pays the bills or the stuff that makes me happy. Fuck, gotta pay the
find
bills.
I had to draw a line with his Comanche last year because I'm like, listen, like I'm fixing my shit before I work on your shit. Like I've built everybody else's Jeep.
He acts like I was arguing with him, and I went, okay.
Yeah, I didn't say you were arguing, but it was like when are we gonna work on the Comanche? I was like, when I'm done with my Jeep,
Right.
you can work on the Comanche yourself.
And
then I went, no, I can't.
And the problem is, with all this being said, which PJ and I have talked about this like a year or two ago, because I'm going to Trail Hero. I try to do Trail Hero every year.
I like how he nodded his head before
He's
he
like,
even knows what you're actually talking about.
Yeah, he knows because he already knows. He already knows.
It's telepathy.
He just got the big brain thing.
My chick was like, I want a Jeep. And I'm like,
Don't do it.
Just empty every pocket.
yeah. So I really wanted.
What Jeep did she want?
Well, she's spoiled, right? Because she drives an Acura.
So Wrangler.
Yeah, we're totally rolling in an
LJ.
Nope. No.
Oh.
I'm broke. Got to remember, I'm broke. I'm still broke. Even after TV, I'm broke because TV doesn't pay.
Into the mic. Wait, hold on.
Four-door. Huh?
4
No.
doors,
JK.
more horse.
Yeah. Whoa, babe, I didn't say that. That was not me. That was
Not
so
me.
Not me.
Hey,
said it.
Hey, if she can pull ladies in that thing, more power to her.
Oh, I'm sure she could. Like, so my girl's got more tattoos than me. PJ's shaking his head. Yes, so PJ and I actually met at a gun show.
So that's actually I think where we started this conversation.
Yeah, his girl comes running up to me.
Full circle.
This is all Lauren's fault. So thank you, Lauren.
So yeah,
It's always
Lauren.
Lauren's fault.
Wait, Lauren took you to the gun show?
No. She ran after him.
Yeah, and my girl's like, oh, great. Because here comes Lauren running up to me, and
Did she trip over a curb?
No.
No. There's no curbs in the DC Expo.
It's a very interesting story.
You never know.
Trevor, shut up.
Jeez. So yeah, I'm walking through with my chick, and we had our daughter at the time. I didn't have my son. We just had our daughter, and here she comes, just running up. Well, at first she walks by, and my girl Angie comes up to me. My girl Angie, she comes up to me. She goes, "That girl was just eyeballing you," and I'm like, "Okay." And she goes, "Well, she probably recognized you." I was like, "It's a possibility. I don't know," because season 1 was already out of Truck Night. And all of a sudden, she turns around. She goes, "She's running back towards you now." I'm like, "What?" And I turn around, and she comes running up. She goes, "Oh, my gosh, you're Abe, right?" I'm like, Yeah, how you doing?" She goes, "My boyfriend's here, and he loves the show. Would you just come say hi? He won't come up and say anything to you." I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. Where's he at? Let's go talk." Because
PJ shy? No.
I was in the middle of buying a pistol. I recognized
which is much more than important, honestly.
I didn't want to run away from the sale.
No,
it's also exactly like Lauren to go like, "Oh, I got it," and just take off.
Well, I recognized him, and I just kind of gave him a nod.
Who's going to tell the waiter that he wanted a baked
recognized you.
potato instead of mashed potatoes?
No, I try. I don't
trying to respect your family.
No, and I appreciate.
No, you wanted to buy a gun.
Well, that too.
Well, yeah, no, and which is, in my opinion, is much more important.
I still have that gun.
But anybody that's ever I think it's dumb that people actually wanted to meet me at one point.
Yeah,
because I'm not on TV now, but Scratch has it. So anybody just doesn't know. I was just filming and doing stuff with my buddy Scratch, who did 4 or 5 seasons in overhauling. Mm-hmm. He's guest spotted on was it Full Custom Garage with Ian Russell, world renowned pinstriper and just badass hot rod builder. So he has a very different way of wording what humble should be. And he's a great guy. I love Scratch to death. It was an honor to work with him because I've followed him for years. But
I mean, he's allowed to not be humble. Pinstriping is.
Oh no, yeah, and when you're one of the best pinstripers in the world, he's been flown to Saudi Arabia, he's been flown to Switzerland, Japan.
He's probably one of the last.
That is a true dying art.
Yeah, and he's good.
Yeah,
he can whip. He did. I have this little mini fridge that I bought for where I'm doing a truck at that he came up to help me with, and he in 20 minutes he pinstriped the fridge.
Can he do a toilet?
I don't know what I'll have to ask what the weirdest thing is.
That wasn't pinstripe.
Yeah.
There was a guy at SEMA, one of the lowrider painters.
Yeah.
He
badass.
had painted a toilet for one of the paint company booths at SEMA.
Right.
And it was it was incredible stripe work, but it's all tape.
Yeah.
And the thing, it's
a totally different level of striping.
Yeah, Scratch freehands everything.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he's and it's crazy talking with him because he knows, I thought I knew a lot of people. That guy knows everybody.
Yeah.
And
we thought PJ knew a lot of people.
Yeah, in the hot rod scene. Well, that's what I'm saying. So PJ wouldn't come up and talk to me. She comes up and grabs, so I walk back. I say, "Hi, what's up?" We talk. And then, how most people do nowadays, we find each other on social media, and then we just start talking.
Give me your Instagram.
Yeah, what's your Instagram? Yeah, I try to be approachable for anybody that actually still wants to talk about, Truck Night or anything. Because I am just some dumb, poor kid that got lucky.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, we had the spot with the Never Inside podcast. I hope I should get this
Never
right.
Ending Story?
No, it's the Never Inside podcast. And they had reached out to us and "Hey, do you want to be on our show?" And I was like, "Oh shit, this is people actually listen and recognize us." It's happened a couple times in the last month, and it's weird. I mean, it's small scale, but still, it's
that's actually how I got to talk to Scratch.
Okay,
so season 1 and aired of Truck Night. I don't have very many followers because I am a nobody from nowhere on Instagram. And I still don't, but that's because I got partially shadow banned.
Hey,
I like
no, shadow banning doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Of course, no. They didn't release the Twitter files, and all that was just made up because all nonsense.
Yeah, you're not.
We're
alone.
not going down that rabbit hole with me.
that's a different podcast.
That is,
different
oh my
podcast.
God, yeah. Don't get me started.
That's dirtier nerds.
The problem is I know too many people that. Yeah. Anyway, we're not going. We're not
going to go into it, but we're going to go into it because I know a lot of people.
All right, so season 1 it aired. I'm on TV, technically, and
Technically.
I had followed Scratch for years. Like I knew who Scratch was. I had seen him on Overhauling. I'd seen him on like a bunch of underground hot rodding DVDs where he'd done a bunch of pinstriping and stuff. And he was already working with Chip Foose. I mean, he's painting with Chip Foose.
Yeah.
What else do you need to say?
Don't get much higher in hot
Right.
rod world.
Right. And I get this message from Scratch's Garage, which is his shop. He goes, "Hey man, how are you on TV? And you only have I think at the time 1,800 followers."
Ouch. Like,
Yeah, and at first,
Okay, asshole.
so no, at first
Sorry,
I'm reading.
Scratch.
you too.
Sorry, Scratch. We love you.
Yeah, no, because at first I'm reading, I'm like, is just really Scratch. So some of these like really big names, they have like they have people that handle their stuff for
fake
them, right?
accounts and stuff too.
Yeah, and then there's fake accounts.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
So really, you're thinking, what's this asshole assistant asking me this?
yeah. So I didn't know quite how to take it. I was thrown off. I'm like, okay. I was like, hold up. That was the first thing. I was like, is this really Scratch? He goes, yes, this is really Scratch. I was like, I know what you look like.
That's how you know you're a real kid from the country. Is this really you?
Yeah, I'm like, send me a picture, man. Like I got
Hold up the newspaper with the date on
something.
it.
I can't remember what he did. So he did something like that, and he goes, so seriously, how are you on like international television and you only have? I was like, my response ended up being, it was like, at the time, Kim Kardashian did that photo that quote unquote broke the internet. Oh. And I'm like, well, because I'm not Kim Kardashian, and nobody wants to put me in a bikini and see me like that. And he thought it was funny.
Well, with OnlyFans nowadays.
I was going to say, it's 2023.
Yeah, things.
Hairy bears are in.
So crazy how things have changed in the last 5 years.
That's a whole other podcast.
God almighty help us where we're going. Anyway, so no, he just randomly messaged me.
Wild.
And he was like, you know who I am? I was like, yeah. I say,
what a humble question.
Yeah, I was like, I have DVDs from you from like 15 years ago when you first like moved to LA.
I'm
That's
not
not
fanboying at all.
I was totally fanboying at that point. I'm not gonna let man, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, he reached out to you. It's
I know who you are.
Yeah, it was whatever. So that's actually how I talked to Jesse James when I met him the first time.
Got all high pitched.
It's full circle now.
Yeah. Which there's some people you shouldn't meet. But anyway.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah.
But no, so it was just weird how like that happened. Like Scratch was like, "Hey, how are you doing this?" I'm like, "I don't know. I wasn't supposed to do that. I wasn't supposed to do it."
Yeah.
Fuck if I know. I applied.
So it was literally a matter of like the phone rang and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing next week?"
Shorter term than that. So
shit.
So I didn't get the job for replace Aaron Kaufman on Gas Monkey, right? The guy had interviewed me they use like code names half the time when they're trying to like scout for a show. So the code name I can tell you was Truck Republic.
Oh god.
That was the code name for when we were starting to like they were
ambiguous.
Yeah, right. So they had interviewed a bunch of people, and they ended up, I had done a couple of interviews, and they never let you know how you're doing in the rank. Like it's just it goes dark, it goes quiet, and if you get a phone call, hey, awesome, you get a phone call. For anybody listening, if you get the opportunity to do it, just because they call you doesn't mean you're a shoo-in. Yeah. I say that because I don't want you to get your hopes up, and then you just get this huge letdown. Just be positive and do the best you can do. Yeah. Right?
Have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah. Well,
not all the time.
No, Glenn Plake. Actually, I was the only tattooed host until Bender was like, got more.
We have figured out why you got the job.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he was the token tattoo guy.
Yep.
But I'm not a token tattoo guy. Excuse me. I drink whiskey. I drink whiskey and tattoos.
There you go. It's two things.
Yeah. So no, let's see. Didn't get that. I had went through the interview process for Truck Republic, as it was being dubbed. I went like 2 or 3 interviews for it, and it went quiet, which means you're not advancing on. And then talking to the other 3 hosts, Pistol Pete, God rest his soul, and then Glenn Plake and Bender. They had all done you get around basically a round table interview where they get all the people that they're thinking about picking, and they do an interview, and then they kind of go from there. They had already done all that, and they had a 4th. They'd already had a different 4th.
Oh. They said, fuck that guy?
No, well, I don't know if I should tell this. I'm not going to say who it was.
Yeah, just no names.
So basically, he was somewhere the week. I don't know if he's out of country, but he was somewhere like not home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unavailable.
Yeah, unavailable. The week before they were supposed to start filming, and they're like they had they were following up with all the 4 different hosts. Hey, are you're going to be here this date? We start filming, and he basically, from the story that I got, again, this is hearsay, and I don't like speaking for other people, but the story that I was told was he basically was like, "Oh, I can't do it. I'm here until this day. I'll see you guys like Wednesday."
Yeah, TV people don't like that, generally speaking.
No.
Yeah, especially with, I imagine the operation for truck night was not small.
Oh my God! Well, that's the reason we're not on. Our budget was.
Oh yeah.
It was like the logistics of the show is horrible.
Yeah.
It was, and they did. So here's what I've learned about TV. TV's like the government. If they got a problem, throw more money and bodies at it, and hopefully it solves itself. Not, hey, let's get necessarily the best person for the job. What was that astronaut that they asked him how he was doing when he was strapped in and getting ready to take off? He goes, "Oh, it's great. I'm sitting in a machine that was awarded to the lowest bidder."
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a really great way of putting it. Yeah. I can't remember what astronaut it was.
But you loved your time on the show.
No. So, no. Awesome experience.
Yeah.
Like, amazing experience. So, the 4th guy, a week before they were supposed to start filming, is just like, I'll be there whenever, right? That doesn't work for them. I work second shift Fairfax County. It's a Thursday evening.
Ooh, we're coming full circle here.
Yeah, coming full. I'm back at I'm in Fairfax County working at the Albin location off of 95.
Okay.
Right. So I get a phone call and it's a West Coast number. I'm like, huh? And it's I can tell Randy Bernstein, who's like the president of a casting company out there. He goes, "Hey, this is Randy Bernstein. Blah blah blah. I'm with so and so." I'm like, "Yeah, I know who you are." He goes, "Hey, you remember that show you interviewed for, Truck Republic or Truck Night?" I think at that time they finally started calling Truck. I was like, "You mean Truck Republic?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, so are you still interested in that?" I was like, "Hey, man, I'm at work right now."
No, you're not.
Well, kind of, yeah. So, well, okay, that's fine. I need to know if you're interested. I was like, well, what do you mean? He goes, "Here's the deal. The executive, the vice president of 51 Minds, which is the production company, she's about to call you if you say yes. I need to know, is it a yes or no?"
Yes.
I said, "Yeah, tell her to, yeah, go tell her, stutter, That's what it was. I was, tell her to call me. Okay. So I hang up, and literally within 5 minutes, another West Coast number calls me.
Damn.
I said, "Okay, who's it? God, forgive me. I can't remember her name. She was very nice to me. She's no longer the vice president of 51 Minds, but she calls me and goes, 'Hi, is this Abe Wine?' Yes. What's going on?" She goes, "Okay, I don't have a lot of time to waste. Here's the deal. I need to know if you'll get on a plane tomorrow and fly to Atlanta, Georgia to interview for this spot. I can't tell you really a whole lot what's going on. I just need to know if you'll do it."
Yes.
I said, "I'm at work right now. I work for Fairfax County, a pretty predominant county in the country." She goes, "Okay, that basically didn't care." She goes, "That's great. Like, I need to know. How much time do I have to make said decision? Like, I have a daughter. Like, I can give you an hour. That's all you got."
Wow.
Yeah, because if you
That's
say
a
no,
lot of time.
they got to call somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. Which they did. I come to find out. So I said, "Okay, 30 minutes. I just need 30 minutes." So I get off the phone with her. I call my
your girl.
Yeah, I call my girl. I said, "Look,
Yeah.
you remember this?" She goes, "Yeah." I was like, "This is what they're telling me." She's like, of course, she's shell shocked. She's like, "What am I supposed to say to this?" I was like, "I don't know what to say. I'm asking you." We have a
Because I'm shell shocked. I need you to tell
You're
me what
better
to
than
do.
me. I'm super impulsive. I would have been on the plane before I hung up the phone.
Right. Well, and so
I'm driving to the airport now.
Yeah. I call her. I call my good friend that owns Tobaccology here in the area, because that dude's always supported me through thick and thin. And then I call my uncle and I ask their opinions. And Uncle's like, "Well, you got to try, right? Like, you're going to hate yourself if you don't try this."
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. So I call her back. I said, "Yes." She goes, "Oh, good. Now here's the real kicker. You got to pack like you're going away for 2 months, because if you get the spot, you ain't going home." What? She goes, "Yeah, so your flight's at this." She goes, "I'll call you back in another 2 hours with your flight, where you're staying at, blah, blah, blah," like the whole rundown. but you need to pack like you're going away for almost 2 months.
Jeez.
Damn.
Huh? Of course, I had told my chick that because they didn't tell me that. I said, okay. She goes, where do you want to fly out of? I said, whatever's easy. I'll make it work. Just tell me where you want me at. Dulles or Reagan, right? I don't care. So...
Dulles is closer.
Well, Annandale, well, at the time it was...
I guess you're in Annandale
Yeah,
at the
so I'm
time.
in Annandale.
That's a 50-50 split.
Yeah,
That is true.
And I actually, personally, I like Reagan better than Dulles.
Yeah.
There's less options if you want to do
with you.
something at Reagan, but Reagan's just... It's just easier to me.
If you fly out of a terminal,
it's a smoother-
it's a little nostalgia because it's just a big old circle.
Yeah. You're right. So I think I ended up flying out of Reagan. I can't remember now, to be honest. I fly out of Reagan. I fly into Atlanta.
Really, all this happened so quick you don't remember where you flew out of?
Right?
What was your seat number?
Yeah. Who was sitting next
What
to
drink
you?
did you order?
Yeah, I
on
was
the
going to
way?
say, what meal did you have on the in-flight?
I can
What
answer that,
movie
whiskey.
did you watch? Yeah. There was. Yeah, that my nerves were a little. I'm not gonna lie, my nerves were a little. So the next day, that was a Thursday. I get all these phone calls, and I go through that whole riff. I pack I literally, because I'm a nobody. I'm a poor kid. I don't have.
Yeah.
I pack
Your good jeans.
Yeah, I pack
You packed
everything.
a pair of jeans and the 4 T-shirts
I don't
that you
wear-
owned
I
that
don't-
didn't have holes in them.
Yeah, I packed all my double knee dickies that I had. My Chuck Taylors and my work boots.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's why you got the show.
Right. So I like pretty much all my clothes.
The one dresser
months of
drawer that
clothes.
you had.
Hey, say you're talking 30 days. Like it was over 30 days. So I fly in to Atlanta on Friday, the following day after all the phone calls, and there's this dude there with a sign with my name on it, like something. It was a trip, dude. It was
damn.
such a trip, and especially for some just dumb kid out of the boonies.
Did they misspell your name on the sheet?
No, actually, they didn't. Well, they put an S on the end. Wines.
Oh.
Everybody does that. So I didn't care at that point.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
picked up by a driver, holy
you're the guy. Pretty sure that's me.
So yeah, they load me up in the back of like an Escalade or something. I think it was like a Denali, and the driver takes me to the Ritz in downtown Atlanta.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Like seriously, total culture shock, man. It's just, and I had been to, like Capitol Grill and Tyson's before and stuff
Yeah,
like
you're
that.
coming from Front Royal.
Front Row in Cross Junction, Virginia, baby.
But also like going to film a truck show.
Yeah.
Right. Well, at the time, I hadn't got the spot yet.
Well, but still.
It doesn't compare to like the Capitol Grill.
Ritz.
Yeah.
Ritz in Atlanta because I'm interviewing for a TV show.
Yeah.
And for those who can't see me, down here, up here.
That's a couple thousand miles away from home.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I get taken to the downtown to the Ritz.
We need to get into TV.
Oh no, that was just that's
That's the schmooze.
That's the shiny lure they get
Yeah.
you with, homie.
And then the 18-hour days living in a camper.
Yeah. So that's the shiny hook and lure, and then you bite. So I get to the Ritz. There's assistant to the VP and the president of the
Of course.
production company waiting at the door for me. She grabs me. She goes, "Hey, you got to go straight up." I said, "Okay." She goes, hands my bags to a bellhop. She goes, "All your stuff will be in the room when you get there, but for right now, you got to come with me." Okay.
What were you wearing?
I think I had like a two-tone bowling shirt on because at the time I was wearing like a lot of the Dickies, like
Yeah.
like red and black.
This
and silver
is
and
like
black.
what, mid-2000s, right?
Yeah, it was like 2015 or 16, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got that, and I always wear like my thing is I always usually have double knee black or gray, charcoal, double knees Dickies. That's just my go-to, which I'm actually trying to get away from. I'm trying to find like an American made. Like I want to get in with Origin or 1620 or somebody like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
But they're stupid expensive.
Yeah.
If you don't know, they're so stupid expensive. But
You just
What
need
was
like
the-
50,000 followers
Is the
and
True
they'll throw
Work
you through.
stuff made in the U.S.?
like part of it is so the reason I probably shouldn't do this because like I feel like I'm plugging them. Like so you guys know who Jocko Willink is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jocko is part owner of Origin.
That's okay. Plug them. We want some shit
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't have anything through them because they're very hard to get
No,
in.
that's okay. We'll just get them for everybody.
That's fine.
Well, Joe Rogan is one of their people, so it's like
Well, we're getting on the level of Joe
Yeah.
Rogan now, boys. Okay.
so.
We mentioned Joe Rogan on a podcast. We
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
We're going to get canceled. We're going to get canceled.
No. So yeah, so Jocko Willink, who also has a podcast. For those who don't know, Jocko Willink is one of the baddest Navy SEALs to have ever walked the planet. Just listen to some other guys that have served with him, and he was like the batshit crazy guy like starting stuff on purpose because he wanted to get into some stuff. Yeah.
He's also like the most kind-hearted person you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Such an oxymoron of a person.
I know.
He is. No. And he's like a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So total badass, right?
Aren't they all?
Yeah. But he's part owner of Origin. Origin's like 100% American made to the point where they shipped like a $2 million machine back to the United States because textile industry left in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So they shipped the machine back into the U.S. just so they could make the boots here in state. They also only like the cotton for their jeans. They only buy cotton from the U.S. Like they don't buy any. They don't outsource anything out of country.
It's awesome.
Yeah, to the point where now they're at I think of Maine originally, and now they have a second location in North Carolina that they all started up.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're wearing your Dickies.
Wearing my Dickies. I get pulled into this conference room essentially,
Okay.
and I have no idea who all these people are sitting at this big oval table. Later on, I found out it's two of the heads of History Channel, the president and vice president of 51 Mines, Christian, I can't remember Christian's last name, so president of 51 Mines. He was at the time. I don't know if he still is. And some other people, I have no idea who they are. Some of their assistants.
Big wigs and stuff.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like
they're
20 people
peons.
sitting at this table. Yeah,
Taking notes.
Yeah, well, they did. They had their notepads. Yeah. And they say, okay, here's the deal.
Like his tattoos.
Yeah. How was oh, well, before we get started, how was your flight? I'm like, it was a rush flight from, I just flew straight from DC.
You guys didn't
DC.
fly me first class. What the fuck?
Haven't slept in 48 hours.
Oh, no, they actually did. They actually did.
Motherfuckers.
They actually did. It's hook and lure, man.
Red
I'm telling you, you'll
carpet,
see
man.
it's hook and lure.
Hey, you never know.
So,
Maybe they stuck you in the exit row. Give you a little extra room.
which was nice because, being like 6 foot, 265, it sucks being in the back of the plane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thick boys off road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
That's our spinoff.
Yeah.
PJ's not involved
Spin-off of
yet.
a
He's
spin-off.
not fat enough.
Yeah, we got to wait for PJ to gain some weight.
There you go.
I eat for two people. All right.
Yeah, but you burn it too fast.
Yeah, see, that's your problem. That's my
Yeah,
excuse.
you don't retain the food
Yeah.
like the rest of us.
I'm trying.
You eat for two, and then you eat for two again about 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to sit still.
Got that metabolism. So they basically say, here's the deal. We're going to show you some videos on, it was actually contestants for the show, which I didn't know at the time. Show you some video of the people and the trucks, and we're going to bring the other 3 hosts in, and you're just going to like do some banter back and forth, how you feel. Just be yourself. But you got to keep it like,
PG.
Yeah, PG to PG-13. I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Which
We
I
like to
got-
drop a lot of fucks.
Yeah, which I'm good about because my family's like born again Christian, so I'm pretty good about not doing the whole F-bomb thing.
Okay.
And I've learned. Yeah, I know. It doesn't. Man, you get me mad. I'm tattooed. And I worked around tattoo shop. Like I've worked around everything. So yeah, I'll let it fly.
You're a mechanic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I'll let it fly. So they bring Pistol Pete, Glenn Plake, and Rob Bender Park.
That's awesome.
So Bender he's the OG of the 10 Benders. If you don't know who the 10 Benders are, they're like one of the original 4-wheel drive clubs of the West Coast, and like the hardcore of the hardcore, right? So Dave Cole, so Dave Cole, the king of the hammers. We won't go down that road. He is the OG 13, like half of them were 10 Benders, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we had one of the OG 13 actually help with the show behind the scenes.
That's awesome.
Hobie. Oh man, what's Hobie's last? Smith, I think it is. Sorry, Hobie, if you hear this. Sorry, man.
I hope you use it.
We will
Yeah,
make
so
sure
he's an OG 13 cat. So I got to meet him, but that was later on. But so they bring the 3 guys in, and we do this banter back and forth. We'll look at the rigs. Oh, that's a Toyota, and of course I've owned a few Toyotas over the years. Bender's a big Toyota guy. Like he's a huge Toyota guy, even though he works for MotoBuilt now. Lead fab guy at MotoBuilt, which is it's funny. Which he worked at Blue Torch back in the day.
Okay.
Which is actually one of Dan's companies who owns MotoBuilt. He actually was with the original.
So did the Toyota seal the deal? Because you were
So me and Bender were able to go back. That kind of helped me because I was able to go back and forth with Bender a little more.
yeah.
Plake is like So if you don't know who Blake's, man,
He's hard to explain.
Yeah.
that dude is
If
older
PJ's
than,
saying that, you know,
He's a mouthful.
So Blake is older than all of us, right? And Blake is him and his wife both are they have. I want to know where they get the energy from. They're awesome. Like right now, like he has a flat. He lives in Utah. I think it's Utah, and then he has acreage there. But then he also has like a flat over in France because he's an OG extreme sports pioneer.
Yep.
Like he got kicked off the Olympic team in the early '90s. He's a skier. Like he survived avalanches. Like this dude is like
Nutty.
yeah, he's crazy.
that's probably a gentle way of putting it.
And when like two of your friends also passed away in the same avalanche, like yeah, homeboy is like fear isn't really a whole lot for him.
He's trying to go out.
Right, and he's raced. And a lot of people don't know it. He's raced Baja a lot. Like he's done a lot of stuff with Baja. You know, he's done grew up on the Rubicon Trail. Like, so even though he has that, he's a trained mountain climber. So he's definitely outdoorsy. Like there's no doubt about it. Pistol Pete. I mean, even Jesse James gave homage to Pistol Pete when Pistol Pete passed away from the accident. He's just like he wasn't exactly the most winningest driver out there.
Yeah.
And how
But
he
you
got
don't
his
have to be
sponsorship.
remembered.
I was going to say, it's not always the goal with
No.
But he was definitely a staple.
Oh yeah.
And he got punched in the face once or twice because how he talked. But you know he was
real though.
Yeah, he was real, and he was a staple of that that community. And you know, love him or hate him, he definitely wasn't scared to speak his mind. So I automatically had respect for that right out the gate. You know, some people are like, oh, whatever, but hey. Anybody that'll speak their mind and just be honest with you,
Yep.
I'll take the honesty over the sugarcoating,
Oh, hell
kissing
yeah.
my
Yep.
ass stuff any day of the week.
Every day.
Right. So there I am interviewing with these guys.
Yeah.
That's like 4 or 5 in the afternoon on Friday. And they're like, okay, we'll let you know. All right, we got to deliberate. I'm like, well, I didn't know it until they told me right then and there. They had already flew in like 1 or 2 other people in case I said no.
Oh.
And come to find out, somebody else of those 3 guys, I'm not going to say who, hadn't signed their contract as of that day. That Friday. It's Friday. Before, they were supposed to start filming on a Monday, and it's Friday, and they hadn't signed the contract.
Cutting it close.
So they were a little nervous that I'm not going to say who, one of the guys was just going to be like, you know what, screw this, I'm out. Because now they're already having to do this because one guy pulled his stunt. So I'm in downtown Atlanta. I know no one. I know no one. It just so happens that was the weekend of the Atlanta Tattoo Convention Tony Olivas has.
Oh,
A buddy
boy.
of mine from Tennessee, who I call Country, Garrett Kaufman was down there. He's like, what are you doing in Atlanta? Because I put a picture up. I'm at the Ritz in Atlanta. And, of course, he's like, this good old boy from, like, Athens, Tennessee, which is the middle of nowhere. He's like, what are you doing in Atlanta? I can't do his accent very good. Anyway.
Where's Brian when you
Right,
need
I
him?
know.
Yeah, because Brian's also from
Right.
that area.
Yeah.
Not quite, but yeah.
No, this is a guy that was, like, honor guard here in, like,
Brian was definitely not that.
in Arlington. He was a contractor when he got out of the Army. So, I mean, built, heavily tattooed kid, like, that could whoop your ass probably.
Yeah.
So,
Probably.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I actually worked, I was a bouncer. Well, I was a bouncer. No, I was, I worked the door at Mackey's when Mackey's used to exist in
Okay.
Old Town Manassas.
Yeah.
I worked at City Tavern back at the old City Tavern. Some of the people know that as, a little rougher spot. But, yeah, I worked there. I worked all of Old Town Manassas for a while.
Okay.
So I know a lot of the bar owners. I know them even to this day. So
Cool.
yeah.
That
So this
doesn't
kid when
surprise me.
when he was at the Army, like I would need guys to kind of help me. Me and the other guy, Keith Binghamton, punk rock dude. But we would need guys. So he came to the tattoo shop. I was like, hey man, you want some side money? You're in the Army. I know you're not making a whole lot. Like you want to? Yeah, cool. I was like, all right, sweet. Then I was like, how is this going to work if he gets hurt and the Army's going to come after me?
Yeah.
But anyway, so he is in town for the Atlanta Tattoo Convention. He comes to the Ritz and he's like, what the hell are you doing here? I'm like, man, I got last minute phone call. I'm interviewing for this tattoo show. I don't know. So we have a drink together. He has to go. Like, I have to go do something else real quick for them. And they're like, all right, so we have to interview somebody else. Okay, that's weird. But, we're going to let these guys get something to eat because they haven't ate this evening. So I ended up going and hanging out with Bender, Pete, and Blake at one of the restaurants.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in the Ritz. And, of course, it's free whatever. So I get something to eat. And they're like, all right, well, we got to go do this other interview. So I'm, like, sitting at the Ritz going, Okay, well, now what do I do?
I can't spend any money here because it's the Ritz.
Right. So my last bad habit that I've quit smoking cigarettes over the years. The last bad habit I still have is the cigars. Like I like premium high-end cigars, and I blame that on my buddy.
I think we all do.
Yeah, I blame that on my buddy that owns Tobaccology. But
I blame that on just being a dude.
Yeah. Whiskey, like good whiskey and good cigars.
Oh.
So there's this place in
SEMA,
Atlanta
anybody?
Yeah.
called the Phone Booth in Atlanta. It's right around the corner, around the block from the Ritz. So you're looking at the building. It just looks like normal like infrastructure of Atlanta, the backside of the Ritz, around the block. There's this little like British red phone booth there. It's like a speakeasy.
Oh,
That's
sweet.
awesome.
So there's a guy standing at the doorway because I looked up like something to do near me because I got hours to kill I didn't know about.
Speakeasy's the way to go.
So no, I look up like I'm looking for like is there anything cigar related close because we're near the Ritz, so I'm like maybe
There's got to be.
Yeah. So I go around, I walk around the block, downtown Atlanta. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, well, this says this is where. Like, where is it? So I'm like, hey man, and it happens to be the door guy for this place. I'm going, hey man, where's this place? He goes, this is it. He goes, you a member? I said, no. He goes, I said, look, here's the deal, man. I'm from the outskirts of DC, basically. I'm from the boonies. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really know why I'm here. I'm like trying not to have
need a drink.
Yeah, I was like, I just need a drink, and I really want a good cigar. He goes, all right, I'll be right back. So you go to get into this place. You punch a code into the phone, and the phone booth like moves. That's the door.
I think we're going to Atlanta.
God damn.
Yeah, it's a trip. So that's what I'm saying. This whole experience for me was like mind blown. So he goes
That
in.
experience alone would be mind blowing for me.
Right, so he goes in. I'm like, what was that? So he comes back out. He goes, hey, I talked to the manager. It's cool, man. These people are getting ready to go in. Just I'll hold the door open because it's like a phone booth, so it's like hard to. It's really small. Yeah. Like you're trying to like walk into this little red phone booth and hold the thing open, like the face of the phone like pulls away. It's like a fake door, and you walk in, and there's like this lavish.
That's awesome.
And there's no food. It's high end. Like the cheapest drink was $45.
Jesus.
Now they ain't playing around. Like you're
What'd
talking.
you order?
The cheapest thing on the menu, which was a glass of Blanton's. Blanton's on the rocks. And Blanton's, Blanton's was $45 for a glass. And Blanton's,
Did you get a cigar?
I did. I got so I'm actually a spoiled brat when it comes to cigars.
Hey, it's not a bad thing.
I like Liga Privada, like T52s and number 9. So they had.
So you spent $300.
Don't tell my girl, but yeah, it was like $100.
We have a bit future Abe Duck.
Future Abe Duck.
Yeah. She listens to this.
So yeah, it was like a glass of whiskey and a T52, which my buddy owns the shop, so I get boxes of T52s when they come in.
For a good price.
Yeah, good price. And
I mean, still good cigar. Like
like down there, T52 was like. So normally at my buddy's shop, I think they're like $20.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what they are now because of the tax hike here in Virginia, but they used to be like $20. And like down there, it was like 30. Yeah, it was such a huge increase.
Still worth it.
Yeah. So literally, place is packed. I'm in the corner. I don't know anybody. I don't want to know anybody at this point. It's midnight. I shoot a text to the assistant. That was my like point of contact. I said, hey, I'm starting to get tired. I finished my drink. I smoked most of my cigar. I'm like, just let me know what you guys decide in the morning. She goes, oh, no. We're going to have a decision tonight. I'm like, it's midnight. She goes,
Tonight has ended.
Yeah. I was like, she's like, no, you're going to have a decision. I was like, okay. So then like 10 minutes later, I get another text. Hey, so anybody that doesn't know, of course you can't see me. I have a 10-gauge septum ring, which I think PJ knows because we've talked before.
Can you get rid of the nose ring?
Yeah, that literally. That's what it was. Hey, how do you feel about getting rid of the nose ring? Well, I told a millionaire to piss off once about it. So she goes, is it a deal breaker? Of course, in my mind, I'm going.
If they're asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, no, it's not a deal breaker. Like, we can make something work. And then, of course, I have
flip it up.
Right. I can flip it, which you can still kind of see it. So I ended up taking it out for the show, obviously. But I tell them it's not a deal breaker. I have dermals. I have some dermals in the corner of my eye. And they're like, what about those? I'm like, well, they're permanent. What do you mean? I was like, I can maybe unscrew them if you guys give me some time in the morning, we can go to the Atlanta Tattoo Convention. I can have somebody I know over there. We can either remove them, but then there's going to be like these 3 little scars for the show, or we can like just take the heads off, and then it's going to look a little weird, but it'll be very obscure. Like you won't be able to notice it as much. She goes, oh, it's not that big a deal. I said, okay. 1 a.m. rolls around, and I'm at the point where I'm almost ready to leave. I hadn't paid my bill yet. Hey, are you at your room? No, I can't be in 5 minutes. Okay, well, we'll meet you there. So like I tell the manager of the place, like, here's the money. I gotta go. Like, there's a good tip. Like, I just gotta run. Thank you so much for letting me come here. Peace out. So I get on the elevator in the Ritz, go up the elevator. I get off, and there's the VP of the production company and her assistant. Like, I don't even get to the room. Like, they're waiting for me as soon as I get off the elevator. I'm like,
hi, ladies.
Yeah. Like, I was like, look, before you say anything.
I got to poop.
I really did. I didn't say that, but I was like, the whole time I'm like, man, I got the bubble guts going on.
Yeah, you get the old, oh, that's the worst.
So I said, look, before y'all say anything, if I didn't get the spot, just tell me what time my flight is in the morning, and I really just thank you for the opportunity to even interview. I mean, thank you. It's humbling, seriously. She goes, oh, no, you're leaving with us at 7 in the morning. Make sure you're ready to go. Don't be late.
Jesus Christ.
Huh? She goes, yeah, I hope you packed the clothes I told you to pack because you're leaving.
What a fucking
4 T-shirts and a pair of jeans.
God damn.
So literally, I get up 6 in the morning.
Wow.
Get in the van. Like, get in the van with Bender, Plake, Pete, and there's like somebody up front driving.
Oh,
us.
so they're all in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I get in the van with them, and we drive. We drive to where we're staying at.
Wild.
In Georgia. And that day was so they had already seen like the course, kind of some of the stuff out there.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen anything, obviously. So that was Saturday. We drive to location or where we're staying at. And then Sunday, I step foot on this truck night site for the first time. And
Wow.
Monday morning,
Just right into it.
6 a.m., I get up, I walk out, and they're like, hey, like these other guys are like obviously more well known to me. Yeah. Like I to this day, like Bender and I argue, like, man, it shouldn't have been me. It should have. It really should. Like, I don't feel like I know my skill set. I know what I'm capable. I'm not trying to be cocky. Like, I know what I could build some badass shit. Right. I mean, that's
clearly you can talk on TV too.
Right. And well, that's yeah. But I just didn't feel like I was worthy, and I still don't. I don't
To
know
me, that's the mark of a good TV personality. Though.
Yeah.
Well,
Right? Like, you never get so into your own head.
That's the flip side of TV, though, right? Like,
true.
Because
sometimes they want that shit.
I know.
Right,
Oh yeah. I
the
get
cocky
that.
asshole is.
But you
got
gotta
a character.
You gotta balance that, right? Like, you're authentic.
I'm new.
I'm new.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
So
Sometimes you want that authenticity, though.
yeah.
Well, that's the balance aspect.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
That's what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there
We'll
was
go with that.
well, man, there's like so much stuff like I feel like I shouldn't say.
Say it.
Yeah.
We need
So,
some
like- so, like,
controversy.
Yeah,
Guys,
we do.
We need to go viral here.
So one of the people that was on season 1 that I think would have been a great host, and I like him. Like, every once in a blue moon I'll talk to him. Like, Ben and I still talk on the regular. Blake, it's hard to keep up with because you never know where in the world he's going to be.
It's like Carmen
He's a
Sandiego.
character.
Yeah. So like Jake Berkey, I feel Jake Berkey should have been like one of because they the way they pitched us on the show was, I'm the East Coast kid, and of course I don't look like I'm East Coast for one. I don't look hillbilly, even though I really am half hillbilly.
Right.
Yeah, but anyone who's from here knows that you do.
Yeah, like I make apple butter, I make scrapple.
Right.
Like, my family does all
So,
like the old
to my
school.
point,
Right?
The way you say front rural.
Front roll.
Yeah, but
front
only
roll.
people from here know when you say front row.
But that's my point.
So it's
you
supposed
get
to-
anybody
right,
in that
yeah.
area. They
It's
go,
supposed to be front royal. You're supposed to be royal.
Yeah, people also say McLean too, but you know.
Well, in Winchester, like, there's Opequon, like the Opequon area, and I was at one of the pro
Opequon?
one of the pro
show someone not from here Chickateague.
Yeah.
yeah.
I swear to God.
No, they pronounce so if you Opequon, the woman was actually from this area.
No shit.
Yeah, and she said
Opequon?
Opequon.
Oh my.
Oh.
And this was at a pro 2A meeting. And the people lost it because they're like, "You're an outsider. You're not from here. Shut up. We already know what you're going to say."
There's Opekin and Occoquan.
Yeah, it was.
That's like Powhatan.
Yeah.
Powhatan. No.
Yeah.
No. You get the fuck out of here with that shit.
It's getting violent all of a sudden. I didn't mean to start this. I'm sorry.
Such a hot topic.
Yeah. So, no, but I just
we learn something about PJ every day.
Yeah, right. It's just I don't feel. Man, there's so many better. I don't know how to word it. I don't know how to like.
There's people out there that feel like you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
Like
know.
there's got to be like
I still
I
have
would say that it's like
screenshots.
there's got to be people who saw the show and probably hear you say that and go, "Nope, you were great." Like it's you perfect.
I think
fit.
you did a great job.
Well, thank you, but I don't know, man. I'm always weird about it, and I hate that. But it's I'm just being honest. Like
Yeah. I get
Jake, Jake Burke, he's well known in the rock bouncer scene. He's from Tennessee. Like there's, Adam Woodley, Wide Open Design. That dude, super nice guy. I've talked to him a couple times. Nice guy. I like him. And he's extremely accomplished. Eric Miller,
Yep.
up in Cumberland, Maryland. He lives 50 minutes north of me up in Cross Junction.
Yep.
You just won't cross the state line.
I have trouble with Maryland.
Get
But
itchy.
so Maryland.
People in Maryland have trouble with Maryland.
Yeah, so anybody in Maryland knows when you're on that side of Maryland, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It ain't Eastern Shore.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, he would have been like to me, like that guy's so much more accomplished than me. Like it should have been him, or it should have been.
It's not always the accomplishments though. It's the personality,
Yeah.
right? Like
They also look for the up and coming people too that
Yeah.
don't have that background.
Well, I don't know where
Or
hell
following.
the up and coming went because it's done up and fucking left.
Hey, sometimes they like to roll the dice. Sometimes the house loses.
So yeah. So no, we did the show. I did the show, and I guess I did okay because they invited me back for a season 2.
yeah.
When we did season 2,
I would say you probably did more than okay at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we ended up doing. There was we did some commentary for History Channel for like this. What was it? It was something History Channel did, like the history of trucks during they had this whole automotive week they were trying to do and incorporate history.
They had to compete with Discovery.
Right, trying to do that, and which they even how they came about that. So the executive producer from History that did our show was the guy that discovered Diesel Brothers because he used to work for Discovery.
Oh, okay.
And then he went after our show got let go and some other changes happened in history he didn't like. He went back to Discovery Channel. And then I found out a few months ago when the whole Warner Brothers Discovery merger happened, he was one of the ones that got, even though he had 2 successful shows, he got laid off in that whole mess.
Damn.
So yeah, nobody went in TV. Like nobody's safe in TV. Man.
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
It's a
So-
Nothing's
like
ever
government
safe.
mess. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
I did the.
I'm
rookie-
a
I hit-
professional.
yeah.
I've been on TV.
Yeah, no, totally
TV
different.
and radio, very
Yeah,
different.
very different. I will attest to that. So we do season 2. We ended up going to SEMA after we filmed season 2. History kind of dropped the ball there, in my opinion.
That's SEMA? No.
Yeah. When you got Bill Goldberg ready to smash somebody, like, that's a big dude too, man. Bill Goldberg, the wrestler, actor. Yeah.
Anyone
is there
from
more
our
to that
area-
story?
So
Anyone from our area, that,
You can't lead in with that and not continue.
but you got to say, like anyone from our area that doesn't know that name,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you're not a real '90s kid if you don't know Goldberg.
Yeah, so like going back to like what I said earlier, like I know a lot of people in the industry. I've been like the big man upstairs his desk. I'm blessed in life.
Yeah.
Like because statistically, I shouldn't I shouldn't even be alive, man. Like statistically, when you grow up, how I grew up, and just
In front row.
well, I was in high school in Florida. That's all I was, and I'm not saying like
Further back.
yeah. So I'll just be real. So like my first memories in life, my father left my mother with 2 kids in a Civil War farmhouse in Augusta, West Virginia, no heat, in the middle of a freaking snowstorm. So I have my first memories were going to sleep, seeing my breath. Like I have memories like that.
Yeah.
So when people were like, "Oh," like my grandfather's shop at that time wasn't. He had just started out in like 85-ish, I think, somewhere in a little bit before that. So the money what little bit of money my family necessarily does, it wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like I'm all scored hard knocks or I'm better than anybody, but I just know what I've been through in life, right?
Yeah.
So that also goes back to I've been blessed, but I also don't like name dropping.
Yeah.
But I could, like, if I want to, I could be like, yeah, no, this person, I all right, so I'll do one just to do one. Trail Hero. Everybody, like anybody in the off-road industry has probably heard of Trail Hero.
Yeah.
Rich Klein's the owner. He actually helped with season 2 of the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Him and I became friends. He came on the show because Bender had kind of recommended him because they're friends from way back. If you don't know who Rich Klein is, his father is the one that owns We Rock.
Okay.
Rich Klein Sr. Rich Klein actually helped design the courses. Well, you know, when Jesse Haynes was coming up, Rich helped start Rich Jr., Little Rich, as everybody calls him. His father's Big Rich that has We Rock. Little Rich helped start We Rock. Little Rich has raced Baja. He's had success in every form of like off-roading there is. And he owns Trail Hero now. He started Trail Hero. He owns Trail Hero. He's the president of Trail Hero. Like, when I go to Trail Hero, I crash on his couch. Like, he's still,
cool.
he's a friend of mine.
Yep, you're an asshole. Stop me.
I know. So,
How many couches does he have?
Yeah, no shit.
2. And then, so what's really crazy
bring a
is
In the
sleeping
one
bag.
house? And how many?
no. He's not he's definitely not
I think
like that.
the thing I've learned in the off-road industry is, one, everybody's tied into everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
everyone knows everyone. And then the other thing is, it's not stupid money. So, like, everybody's accessible. It's really welcoming.
Well, that's changing in my right now. It's changing, especially with Ultra 4 and like Hammer. Like, it's just changing.
I was once Hoonigan got involved, it started to get a little ridiculous from a money standpoint.
Well, I would agree with you on that for sure. Because like now the Nitro Circus guys are involved.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah,
But
everybody.
because of Trail Hero, like another thing that rolled into it, I got to work with JT Taylor. So if you don't know who JT is, like, you need to look him up. He's basically the race marshal, has been forever for Hammers.
Yep.
I got to work with him at Trail Hero. We designed like this little like race course on the beach, and we were jumping like the state road for the park that Trail Hero's at, and we were doing some cool. There's videos of it, so I got to like build it out with JT. Like, JT was like, I want this here, and I'm like, all right, what do you think about this? And then we, like, me and another local, we got on the excavators and we made this race course for the guys just to rip up for fun.
Fuck yeah.
So that's where it's snowballed. So you're right. Like, everybody knows everybody somehow, but you're starting to see, in my opinion, like the money's changing for sure.
Oh, yeah.
As it does in every race. Any race series that starts off small and it starts to build.
Yeah. Well, I would say that with just anything in general, right? As soon as the popularity grows and you get a couple rich guys in, now all of a sudden it's the competition isn't so much the race, it's who can build the biggest, baddest thing, which as a consumer is fantastic, right? Like we have, I remember my first Jeep was an XJ, and my choices were Skyjacker and Superlift. Right. Like if I wanted a lift kit, that was it, and got it from Summit Racing. Right. Now it's there. Yeah.
The internet has changed a lot of that too. Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But it's
now you get it from Amazon.
But there's so many
from anybody.
Yeah. There's so many independent companies that have come out of all of this, and it's all these guys that were just like building shit in their garage and went, oh shit, I can make money doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you got a flooded market.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's like before we were talking on the show.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time because I hate to admit this. I'm gonna really. Oh god. So like.
Say it anyway.
Yeah. So like, of course, we had the 08, 09 crash and all that stuff.
Yep.
So at the time, the chopper scene was really big, but it was starting to phase out. The import scene was coming in really big. So around in this area, you had like the Nopi shows, Hot Import Nights, all that.
Yep.
I worked for a shop briefly. I built Evos, Mitsubishi Evos, and they raced in the NASA road race.
Yeah.
Circuit. So I would go to like Pocono.
Yeah.
VIR, and then they did some drag cars too. So that was when I was like 19 or 20. That when I just learned how to TIG weld, and 15 years ago, here on the East, the scene. Scratch and I were talking about this while he was here too. The scene And Bender can tell you the scene is just so different, but East versus West.
Yeah.
Where
Always
we all
is.
like the East always seems to somewhat lag behind. You have those key guys like Adam Woodley, again Eric Miller that they have been at like they're involved, so they know what's going on. But like for the consumer, like you were saying, we always seem to lag behind. So 15 years ago, there wasn't a whole lot of automotive TIG welders.
Right.
So what do? You go, who's paying, and who was paying? Well, the import kids were paying because they had bought me daddy's credit card, and then the bottom dropped out.
Yep.
And then it was back to reality.
Yeah.
Always is.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I don't necessarily see it happening so much in the off-road world just because of the practicality side of it.
Right.
Right? Like, soccer moms and Karens can still drive their lifted Jeep to the mall and off-road. It'll, the dirt road past my house to get to the winery is about as much off-roading as they'll do. But
Right.
Hey, you got some nasty potholes out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swallow
I
it.
was swerving back and forth. And I was like,
sure
I really am glad there's not a cop behind me because he's gonna think I'm drunk.
Make sure your rough country shocks are really dialed in.
There's ranchos on my truck. Calm down. They're getting replaced with Falcons. Calm down.
Getting serious.
Pinky out, boys.
He's got them chrome 20s too.
Yeah.
Putting on the Ritz.
That's a trend I'm glad died. But yeah,
I'm gonna smack you tomorrow for that one.
I think what will save the off-road world, at least in the short term, is it really hasn't taken off on the TV side of things.
Right, and that was
It's too slow for TV.
Yeah.
and that well, yes and no, and that's what we argued with the executive, like the TV people, like like all four of us were kind of on a pretty similar wavelength, but of course we don't know TV.
Yeah.
We know how to build, and we know how to like racing back. We had to know that.
You guys
So-
are arguing for what you love to do.
right?
Yeah.
and that
They just didn't want to listen.
That could get rough. That could get rough. Now season 2 obviously is better because one, we brought in Rich Klein, like Rich the Waterfall, like that was like a Bender Rich Klein collaboration. Rich built it all from scratch. He's a badass because he's built. A lot of people don't realize Rich has also built a lot of parks across the country, like artificial man-made stuff where there isn't, big rock ledges. You can build like that fake concrete stuff, and he knows how to do it. And that's where that came from. So we tried to season 2. We were stepping some stuff up, and we actually. So 2 weeks before season 2 aired, that's when the accident happened with Pistol Pete. We got a phone call the day that it happened, and I don't want to not too much detail, but we were informed that Pete didn't make it, and his 2 daughters were in critical condition, or in ICU basically.
Yeah.
And that was like 2 weeks before the season 2 was supposed to air, so it was just like a total gut punch.
Yeah.
You're getting all hyped up because this is getting ready to happen, and the way the numbers were looking after season 1 and everything, they're like, this is like we were
Taking off.
Yeah, they were like, you guys are about to be like, blah. Of course, they're pumping you full of BS ideas, which aggravated me, but
Next year we're going to space.
yeah.
Race trucks on the moon.
Yeah. So that happened, and then season 2 aired. 1 or 2 episodes aired, and then the head of history basically called us all, like myself, Bender, and Blake, like directly, and it was asked, "Do you guys want to continue?" And of course, basically all 3 of us said the same thing: as long as his family, as long as everybody's cool with it, we would like to continue. Yeah, because he was all in on this the show. And a lot of people realize we took some serious tongue lashings on I think PJ had seen some. We took some serious tongue lashings from the off-road community, man. Mm-hmm. We took some hits from them on the internet. Like I could show you like screenshots of just
nasty shit.
Yeah, just just cussing us, like, who are these retards, like blah blah blah. That guy have pink hair. What were they doing with like some? Sorry if you're not
nasty
like
human.
Yeah. Just look at that tranny, and I'm like, well, okay, whatever. And that was before all this nonsense going on today. But they were saying like all this weird stuff because they don't know
trolls, man.
Right? They didn't know who we were. They didn't know like Blake was one of the first. He strapped a World War II bomber camera to his helmet and skied down like some insane slope just to get the footage. That's why he's the OG extreme sports pioneer. Like. He was so punk rock in the early 90s, they kicked the guy off the Olympic team.
Right.
Like, if you don't get any more hardcore, like, I don't know what to tell. Like, I don't, like,
Well, I mean,
because he has pink hair. Like,
that's
whatever, dude.
That's
He
the
just
inter-
does
that's
what he
the
wants.
internet,
He doesn't
though,
give a
right?
fuck.
Like,
Yeah.
Right. And I would tell people, like, if you want to make fun of something, make fun of me, because I am the nobody.
Right.
And I got thick skin, man. Like,
Yeah.
I worked in bars. Like, I've been called every name under the sun. Like, whatever. Call me whatever you want. But
I'm just
to
happy
call,
to be here.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
to call Bender, something like that guy built the OG Bronco that won the first King of the Hammers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some of the Blue Torch products you guys bought back in the day, that was Bender. Some of the Moto built products you guys are buying today is Bender.
Yeah, but the guys talking shit are the guys that
Don't know shit.
either they're mud guys, they're rednecks in a garage somewhere that have a truck on big tires that they've never wheeled. Like they're not in it. They just have trucks.
Yeah.
Right. Like
and that was
and you get that with anything.
Yeah, I mean you do, but that's so. I can go against you when you say, "Oh, the off-road community is so supportive." Well, they are.
They can be.
To an extent.
But
Yeah.
they can, every industry, because I've been a part of, I've raced around Pro Mod door slammers on the drag strip. I've been the NASA circuit with the all-wheel drive turbo cars. I've been around a lot of different scenes in my short life, and every scene has them.
Oh yeah.
Every scene.
Well,
has
you
them.
guys. I mean, we see it all the time too. You have those people that try and gatekeep it, right? They go, "Oh, I've been doing this for 15 years. Who are you to come in now and think that just because now it's popular you can do it?" It's like,
Right.
dude, fuck off. Like,
And off-roading
if someone
has
wants to
blown up,
enjoy
has
it,
blown up,
like,
yeah.
let people enjoy it. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you've been doing it for 5 years and you're still rolling around on your rough country and you think you're a Billy Badass, like, I'm going to mess with. I'm sorry. I'm going to mess.
Oh
with
yeah.
you.
Well, okay. I'm not saying that you don't fuck with people. I'm just saying, like, there's a time and a place.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to mess with you.
Yeah, but it's an educational tongue
Yeah.
lashing.
It's what we call constructive criticism.
Live
Well,
and
the
learn.
first
as
year
the
you
kids
get
say.
that grace. Like if you're like been into it for years and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I got this. I'll
Yeah.
out. Okay, homeboy.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
I mean,
Show me what you got.
yeah, let's see what's up.
we dealt with it a lot early on with us at the Cove.
Oh yeah.
As a group, like
Yeah, so when you guys came into and of course, so there's the little store in Gore.
Yep.
When I was from like 6 to about 9, there's an apartment in the back of that store. I lived there as a kid.
No
no
shit.
shit.
So when everybody's like, "Oh, the Cove," this, like, if I wanted to be a gatekeeper, like, dude, that was
Yeah.
like my stomping grounds
Right,
as a
right.
kid. Like,
Yeah.
I lived in the apartment. I got yelled at for playing on the trains at that train yard and breaking stuff.
Yep.
Like, seriously.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I knew the Cove before like anybody.
Before it was the Cove.
Cove,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you're talking literally mid '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We were
was,
still
just because I
logging it
was
every day.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
that's where I was raised. I just, it's how it is for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a. There's still a couple of them, but back when we first started going, there's just a bunch of old heads there that just like if you were new kids on the block,
Yeah.
they would just try and rip you to shreds, and you'd just be like, dude, I'm just out here to have a good time.
Yeah,
like,
and
like, screw you. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm in a JK on 2.5 and 35s, just like everyone else out here. But fuck you, man. Like I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm just here to camp and have a good time with my
Yeah.
friends and get pissed drunk. And just have 3 days where I don't have to worry about shit.
and see, that's the reason I always I don't know if I'm official. I have to ask Rich if I'm officially an affiliate of Trail Hero, but I support Trail Hero a lot. One, because of the premise. Like Trail Hero started for his to give back to veterans and then underprivileged children. That's like a lot of people go to Trail Hero because it's a week-long event now. It's
Yeah.
crazy. That there's 2 days dedicated to just those things. Still to this day. And Rich does great. 4 Wheel to Heel comes out. Shout out to all the guys, everybody at 4 Wheel to Heel. Great organization.
4 Wheel to Heel.
Yeah, I love them all. I always, even though they don't ever take me up on the opportunity, I always tell them, hey, you guys come up to the Cove. There's North Mountain Restaurant my buddy owns. Ben Seville that has Linex of Winchester owns. He's the one that has North Mountain Restaurant there just right up the road on 50.
Yeah.
I go there all the time.
I've restrapped multiple Jeeps in that parking lot. When I start getting trailers fight coming down the hill.
Yeah. So, yeah. I've always invited the guys at Full Wood Hill to be like, hey, if you want breakfast Friday morning, if you're not, like, come up and I'll buy everybody. Like, I
Look,
don't
you
care.
can start extending that invitation to us.
Right?
We'll
So
definitely
maybe
work
we'll
on
have
it.
to do something.
No, we
Yeah.
won't. What are we saying? We're
Yeah.
not
So
going
we're
to
going
get
to the
out of bed
Cove.
early enough.
Also true.
Yeah, that's my
Tell
thing.
us Sunday morning.
Yes, that's my rule. Is if you're going to go and you want me to buy, like, you got to get up when I get up.
Yeah.
Because
That's
when
fair.
when
I'll
I go
do it.
when I go out half the time, I don't get hammer timed.
No.
Because to me,
Oh, I mean, we do, but I'm still up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's 'cause you're mentally handicapped.
When
Also
I go
true.
to when I go to Trail Hero, I'm working half the time, and when you're in the desert working,
Yeah.
like I'm not getting.
Yeah.
I'm just.
There's no
Yeah, well,
point.
You're dehydrated as it is.
Desert life is different.
Yeah, that's different. You can get pissed drunk at the Cove and wake up the next morning and be totally fine.
I don't know. I don't do that anymore. I guess because I spent too much time in the bars when I was younger,
Yeah.
and I've seen the really
It's like
nasty
one of
side of
the-
things.
If I'm being completely,
PJ's over going with his head.
If I'm
going,
being
yeah.
completely
I
It's
worked
one
in
of the-
Tally Ho in
Oh,
Leesburg.
see, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's
So
one of the
know.
few times a year I actually get pissed.
Yeah,
drunk.
that's really for me. It's like
I got 4 bottles of whiskey at my house
No,
and
no,
haven't
no,
seen
but-
them being opened in 4
Like
years.
I'm not trying to be some hypocrite.
No,
Like,
no.
because like
No, but
trust me.
I feel you.
yeah, but
'cause
I'm
it's
realizing
like,
we sound like a bunch of
Yeah,
alcoholics right now.
Because I'm just saying I have like Woodford Reserve in my
Yeah,
cabinet. I have
yeah.
Blanton's in my cabinet. I got bottle
Special
of Jack.
occasions.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
You have bottles that just they sit
They
there
sit right.
because you get home and you're just like, I just want to eat and go to bed.
Bad day
Well, yeah,
whiskey.
kids. So my biggest thing that changed me was kids.
Yeah.
My children
Yeah,
you want to become an adult.
Going
You want to
through
be
that
a
transition
real
right now.
you want to.
You're
become
being
a real
watched
adult.
24/7
Yeah,
by
you're
your
being
kids.
watched.
yeah.
Like
I'm having to do the watching right now, but
yeah,
it's,
It changes.
mostly I have to watch my wife because she freaks out. Is he breathing enough?
Future
Yes, he's
Trevor
breathing
Duck.
Well, the
fine.
problem is the thing that always crosses my mind. Well, if something happens,
Yeah.
I don't want to be all
Yeah.
fumbling
no,
around.
It's true.
That just freaks me out, man.
Oh, there's been times like in the past month when I've been off. There's been times where I've been like, I'll crack a beer, and then I went, maybe I won't.
Yeah, it just in the back. I don't know, man.
And
Maybe
I
maybe I'm a
finally-
punk, but it freaks me out.
No,
I finally did it. I finally did it during St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
And it was only because my mom and my stepdad were there.
Right.
And I was like, if something
Didn't it-
happens, they're
yeah.
sober.
Right,
They can drive.
everything's good. Yeah, right, exactly.
No, so like I've always been that way because like all through college I was a volunteer firefighter, still am.
Right.
But like we were home response, so it was always like I'm a 20-year-old college kid presented with, hey, do you want to go to this party? And I'm like, I don't know.
I gotta work.
If a house burns down
Yeah.
tonight, I want to go to that call.
Right,
like,
right.
So it's like, I'll have one beer. Oh, it's 3 a.m. All right, like we're not getting a call now. Like I'll drink
Right.
now. Like,
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing people don't know about firefighters, it's they're all pyromaniacs. They want your house to catch fire so they can put it out.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Your house is going. A house will catch fire. Statistically speaking, it's going to happen. It's not that we want it to. It's just going to happen.
I don't know if like PJ's laughing because he's funny.
well, for-
He's freaking
for
out
everyone
like
who
that. I
hasn't-
want my house to burn down.
PJ also does the firefighter thing, and he's looking at it going, no, I want your house to burn down.
So I,
It always
I
feels
want there
so
to be-
cynical
That's
to be
I
like,
want
oh
there to
man,
be something
there's nothing going
fire.
on right now. I wish an accident would happen. People are like, whoa, that's fucked up to say.
so
No,
maybe we'll
it's
get
fine.
something good tonight.
Like-
yeah.
Like the ER nurses will tell you never say it's a slow night.
Right.
The firefighters
Or,
go,
"It's
please
quiet."
walk around the firehouse saying it's a slow night.
Well, no. The firefighters in Loudoun County do that because
True.
it's always
Because it's always a slow night.
yeah, like one of my buddies.
They call
is
a
paid
fire. Nope,
firefighter.
just the old lady fell down.
Yeah. One of my buddies is paid firefighter. I think for Fauquier.
Okay.
He worked down in Prince William County as a volunteer for a while. So
Yeah.
it's like he's one of my customers and he's a friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like, of course, I get to hear the stories. I'm like, geez, dude. He goes, yeah.
Wild night. Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
Well, he's
I've
like,
spent the last 5 years listening to those
yeah,
stories.
he's literally like seen it all. When I mean seen it all, yeah, he's seen it all.
Every
It's
time I
some
think
wild
I've seen it all, like another
Then
day
something
comes up.
happens.
I mean, not that long ago, without getting crazy graphic, dude was doing 110 down Gloucester
Yeah.
Parkway
Oh,
at
that
Ashburn,
one. Yeah.
and it literally can openered the side of his Honda
Yeah.
Accord, and
Yep.
the motor was about 300-400 feet from where the car stopped.
Yep.
And I was like, I haven't seen a modern car eject its engine yet. That's a first.
And on that
Check
bombshell,
that one off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, with season 3, we were going to do it.
Yeah.
Because we had said, yeah, we'll do season 3. Like all of us agreed, right? And
and I take it his family was.
yeah, so
okay
I mean,
with
they like nobody, none of them. And I had never heard.
Yeah.
I didn't really talk to his family a lot. I had whoopsie.
We're
daisy.
professionals who swear.
Yeah.
Tim edit that out.
I had said something to him, like, "Hey, condole." Like, I
Yeah.
talked to his daughters just a little bit, because I just, it sucked,
Yeah, absolutely.
And we had all agreed, like the network, we had all agreed. I've heard 4 different stories of this,
Naturally.
versions of why season 3 didn't have it. One was money. We were an expensive show, so people that don't know, if you couldn't trailer your rig in, we would help you trailer your rig in for one, and if you couldn't, we would essentially pay part of wherever you come from, like a hot shot driver. We would load your rig up on and bring it in. We paid for your hotel while you were a contestant at the show. And then we have...
I'm thinking that's why you guys got shut down.
Yeah, so at any given time on the property, because we had just over 1,000 acres to do all this. We have, sound ops, camera ops,
drones,
PAs, two drone operators.
It was before drones were cheap.
Yeah. These are
still not cheap.
Yeah, they're still not cheap.
Well, relatively speaking, but
was it season 1 or season 2? $80,000 camera went in the water. That's just insurance right off for them, but still, yeah, we killed almost 6 figures like that, literally.
I don't doubt it.
I have a friend from when I worked at the museum that was like getting into TV and trying to start a production company, and he told me, he's like, you want a 22-minute base pilot, you're looking at $35,000.
Yeah, no,
and that's just for the production team.
Yeah,
it's like 2 camera guys and a sound guy.
So we had roughly 80 to 100 people on the ground at any given time.
Oh my god!
With everybody on the ground for that operation. Yeah. And then that shop that we did everything in.
Yeah.
They built that.
Yep.
We thought that wasn't there. It was expensive.
Yeah, that wasn't there when we started all this, and there was no power at that spot, so they ran the power in.
That's probably the most expensive part.
And you got to have
still paying that off.
You got to have a well.
Was it an old quarry or something?
It was an active. So if you look at the landscape between season 1 and season 2, it was an active kaolin mine.
Oh yeah.
So that's that white chalky stuff you've seen in the background. And they logged off of it too.
Yep.
Because the 1,000 acres we were using, that was just a part of what that place was.
Yeah.
And it's an ATV park part-time.
Is it still like there? Like,
I think last time I think what was it called, like Sunnyside ATV or something like that. I think they still have a little spot there.
Okay.
Yeah, the property owner's the one that made out. They got to keep the shop. Crap out there.
That was probably all part of their
probably a selling point now, like the location of Truck Night in America.
Well, nobody cares about Truck Night now, so
yeah, we just kind of forgotten about it.
Yeah,
there's a handful of nerds like us.
It's in the name.
Yeah.
But so we were supposed to do season 3. I've had people come up to me at Trail Hero and other events. Man, I interviewed for season 3. What happened? Politics and money. That's the best answer, honestly.
That's probably as close to the truth as you can get.
No, because there was a struggle within history at what direction they wanted the network to go, and basically
they're still struggling.
Basically the people that wanted to be more history based, like how History Channel probably should be.
Yeah.
They ended up winning, and then they were still going to carry on the show because our numbers were good. Our numbers were doing better than other shows that like truck shows on like Discovery Channel and stuff. So our numbers wise, we were doing good. Ford bought 2 episodes off of us, so we had those 2 Ford episodes we did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you go back and watch, there's 2 episodes that were like all Fords, just because Ford wanted to be a part of it. And
I'd love to know what that check was written.
I would too, because they wouldn't tell me.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
I got to make some good contacts through that.
Yeah.
That's really.
I would just love to just for sake of knowing, like, just what does that cost a company like?
Yeah, so we can
like,
scale it down for what we.
I'll give you.
But like, I would love to know if they just walk in and go, is it just like a blank check situation, or do they walk in and just go,
here's $50K,
here's $100,000? What does that get us?
So and I've talked to other people at other shows. So anytime they do a show, they have a budget, but they usually blow the budget. It's like I told you, it's like government.
Yeah.
They blow the budget out of the water. So can't tell you if this is 100% true or not. I heard. Again, this is what
we're taking this as fact.
Yeah. It was around to do season 1 because we had to build everything out. It was close to $7 million.
Yeah, that tracks.
Because of all the people on the ground.
What was season 2?
It was less because we didn't have to build a shop. Yeah. You didn't have to run power.
6.9 million.
They got we saved the $100,000 on season 1.
Yeah. Oh, you concrete the road, the access roads you get in there. We built half of that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's insane.
The well, we had like 1 or 2 wells we drilled.
That's insane.
Yeah. So everyone's like, "Oh, what's the big deal?" Because I've had people come up to me like, "Abe, love the show. We want to do our own version for either like YouTube or
can't afford it."
So again, Rich Klein and I, we've actually pitched stuff to Discovery Channel. once or twice.
Yeah.
Of course, nothing
Yeah, they don't
came
care
of it.
about automotive stuff anymore.
No. Once the whole Motor Trend thing and all that, because they actually bought Motor Trend and everything's just been going downhill.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, we've had a few conversations about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to know, like the dirt, like it is a cutthroat business. Like,
Oh yeah, that's. I have no doubt.
Yeah, it can be. But again, the thing I take away from all is I made a lot of good connections.
Yeah. I'm sure you had fun doing it too.
I know the people were awesome. I can only think of like maybe 3 contestants. We were like, ugh.
What are their names and where do they live?
Well,
no.
Season and episode.
Everybody go back and watch the old Truck Night in
Yeah.
America episodes.
Yes.
And tell us who you think.
I bet you it was like Cole.
Yeah.
Cole. Moonshine Express.
He's not gonna tell you.
no, every once in a while Cole hits
bleep
me
it.
up. Yeah, Cole.
I went to college with
Yeah,
him.
Tim,
Oh, did you really?
Bleep whatever
Yeah,
name he said.
no, Cole's cool. No,
It was cool seeing him on TV. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I went to school with that guy.
I won't say who, but there was this one contestant that got on
What
the
vehicle
internet.
was it?
It was a Jeep.
Was it
Fucking
orange?
Jeep people.
No.
Anti-Jeep Jeep Club.
No, it wasn't. It was actually season 1. I will say that.
Oh.
But we had done an obstacle. It was one of the events that was timed. Everything was timed pretty officially. Like we had 2 different people with stopwatches. So the guy that was heading like the challenges, as we called them, the guy that was running all that for us was the same guy that does the challenges for Survivor.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
So he also worked on that show as well.
Oh,
so
shit.
like we had some good
That's
people.
legit.
There.
Some
yeah,
big
we had some
names.
good people. Yeah, that had a good background.
You don't
behind
argue with that guy.
them. Yeah, but he's a little too nice of a guy. But so people would argue with him. The event was timed. We had already done it. Show aired.
He
That
bitched about
person didn't move on to like the green hell, the final win. They get on the internet and go, "See, I should have won. They cheated me. It was timed. It was I timed it. They actually said I timed it on the TV and I did it quicker." I'm like,
That's edited footage.
like nobody did it. That like we say the times.
Yeah.
Like if you. Like, say it took 2 minutes to do this, and this person took 2 minutes,
It
and
was
this person
45
took
seconds on
10
TV.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't show all 26 minutes because that would have been half our episode.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's like saying the countdown on Chopped is actually the countdown. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like
come
it just-
on.
So there was a handful of contestants that were like that. For the most part, man, everybody was just
They're doing it for the love of the sport.
they were
Yeah,
doing it.
fun,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just happy to be there.
Matt Griffin that had that season 1 that had like the maroon Chevy that just grenaded the front end of the Four Horsemen. Hey, big tranny. I mean, T case is cracked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just puking fluid everywhere. Springs are busted out. Links busted.
You know that.
Yeah.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. He grenades it. He goes, "You give me 30 minutes." He's from Florida. "Give me 30 minutes. I'll put it back together and I'll do it again just because." So shout out to, I mean,
Please
Brian?
do. Please do.
Florida-
That's great TV.
Florida
Please
man.
do that.
right.
Florida man on cocaine.
Yeah.
Breaks same car twice in 2 hours.
Yeah. So you had awesome people like that.
Yeah.
And most of them were. You only had 1 or 2 that were just like, "All right, I can't wait for you to get out of here."
Yeah.
Most of the people are like us. They just enjoy the off-roading. They just
Yeah.
enjoy the sports.
The carnage.
Yeah. And they
They didn't even give a shit that it was on TV.
Yeah, they just wanted to have fun and hang out.
They want to direct their shit.
and try to win like 10 grand, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, as I do it for free. If you dangle some money in front of my
Yeah,
face.
absolutely.
And, well, the other thing
Go
is,
jump it. Okay.
we weren't really supposed to, again, I'm not under contract, so I really don't care. Like, if they got tired, so you made it to, like, before the greenhouse, like, we would do winches or tires. We just they kept it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so if they got a winch on the rig, they kept the worn winch. So even
Damn.
if you didn't win 10 grand, you got a worn winch.
Fuck yeah.
Even if you didn't win, you got a set of, brand new set of, like, STX or
That-
whatever,
that's enough for me.
Intercos, yeah.
shit.
Which Interco was cool.
Yeah.
I like Joey, one of the head guys there. They were good to us. He's still good to me. I mean, if anybody needs Interco tires, they come talk to me.
Yeah. Maybe
Brian.
if I ever get my 1-tons under the wide.
Brian was looking at him.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I technically am because stuff's been weird for me. But I had designed when I did my website. and I should have been doing this when I was on TV because that would have been the smart thing to do. But I was so, I don't want to say wrapped up, but I was so focused on trying to
do a good job.
Just do a good job. Yeah, do a good job. Like not let people down, defend the industry. Yeah. Promote our show, promote our lifestyle.
Promote the collective, not yourself.
Right. So I didn't worry about that. Yeah. And I didn't do I had an executive producer while we were on TV. He was like, "You need to start a YouTube channel. You need Abe. If anything you do, please start."
Abe, and I need a YouTube channel.
Yeah. I had butted heads really hard with this guy, so I didn't listen to him like a dumbass. And I don't get along with him. Our ideals are not the same, but he's worked on some big shows, and you got to give the devil his dues, right?
Right.
Yeah. So and it's not like he doesn't know what he's talking about. He just did. He just did a show with Bender where the Jeremy Renner thing that they're doing for Disney.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's our same EP that was on our show. He did that show with them. And, of course, Bender was the lead fab guy for that. There's some other people from our area that ended up being on there. But how much they're actually on there is
to be determined.
Yeah, to be determined. We'll see how that worked out.
The renovations or whatever it is.
Yeah. Before Renner had that accident. Yeah. I tried to get on that show, but that didn't work.
The tattoos?
Let's just say Disney is Disney.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that. Well, Bender has a big Bender tattoo, but... one tattoo.
Like Futurama Bender?
Sleeves.
Yeah. Able to be covered up kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can wear long sleeves.
So I actually just recently tried to get on another show. Because off-road shows, there is none.
Right.
So I was just...
Yeah. They canceled the only good one.
Yeah.
Truck Night in America, the Great Alaska, whatever it was.
Yeah, that only made it, which Rich Klein, I think, even helped with that a little bit, too.
That was another cool one, too.
Yeah. Is that the one that's on... Like the old episodes are on Amazon Prime now?
I think
you
so.
can get all of ours. Yeah, that show, our show, you can get all of them on Prime and a few others.
Yeah,
but
there wasn't too many.
Are they free or you got to pay for them?
You got to pay for them.
That's okay.
And what's everybody
Abe's got a mortgage.
Hey, support the cause.
I get nothing.
No?
What?
Yeah. I don't know if the other guys...
You don't get residuals?
So
Abe
should have read that contract.
Abe Wine.
That's why they made him sign the contract at 2 a.m.
Young, dumb, hillbilly kid. I know nothing about TV, just thinking like I'm fine.
They knew you were going to go down to that.
Oh, fuck that. I'm not paying for them anymore.
Drink some Blanton's.
Yeah. So I don't know if the other guys do. Bender and I are really, Bender and I talk a lot still. We're pretty close. And,
I mean, if you want to have him come on an interview, I mean, that's cool.
You got to talk to him. I mean, I can say something to him. Yeah, absolutely. I'll see if I can convince him to do a little something. But we were pretty open about everything. Yeah. And to my knowledge, none of us got pretty much any residuals off that.
That sucks.
Yeah. Well, you can thank Jesse James a lot for that.
Yeah.
He worked them people over when he first when Monster Garage
wow.
And they learned a lot then because that was in the early days of unscripted TV.
Yeah. Yep.
Grew up watching Monster.
Right.
Well,
that's why I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I met Jesse at SEMA and I'm like, "Hey, Mr. James, how are you?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he made fun of me. And
we were kind of like that with Ian Johnson this past year. A little bit.
I would say for me, I was more like that
with Fred and Dave.
With Fred and Dave than I was Ian Johnson.
Yeah.
Ian Johnson was way as soon as he was like, I fucking hate SEMA. I was like,
oh, you're a normal guy.
Human.
I had this conversation with He's like, "Oh man, we're going to SEMA." I was like, "I can't stand SEMA."
Yeah.
And Ian's just because I've talked to Ian too. Ian doesn't like SEMA. I don't like SEMA.
So
he was very candid.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. It's just it was interesting.
Yeah, this was my second one, and I get it.
Oh,
the first one, I was just too wide-eyed.
Right.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we got a little lost in there.
Yeah, and
which is easy to do your first time.
Oh yeah. Oh, and we went in there with we're going to talk to specific people, and by the end of it, we had averaged 10 miles a day inside the convention center. We were just like, "Why are we so tired?"
Yeah, and it's easy to do. Yeah. There's just too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
Well, and
there's too much crap.
Even when you try and focus on a specific side, there's so much.
And they're adding crap. They have SEMA Fest coming this year, which is all open to the public. It's gonna be at the fairgrounds. There's gonna be a whole nother layer. It's 3 weeks before the F1 race. I'm like, I have no desire to go this year unless somebody calls me and is like, I need you to be here. I'm not going.
I've already put it on record. Unless
we did get to see a nice Hoonigan fuck up this past year.
Yeah, that was wild.
What was that?
Where the
Hoonigan's burnout,
the burnout pit, one of the tires exploded,
nice,
and it flew about 300 yards and landed on one of the show trucks.
in the mother's booth.
Yeah.
Wreck the hood,
Like
pop the headlight out.
And we just happened to walk over. We were like, that'd be kind of weird. Like, we would love to find out where that tire ended up. And then we just kind of walked that direction. And we were like, we haven't been up here yet. Let's go walk up here.
Steel-belted radial just laying on the hood
and there's
of this
a dude
car.
standing in front of the mother's truck.
The mother's rep just standing in front of the truck, just like.
And of course, Tim walks up and goes, having a bad day, huh? And the guy goes, yeah.
That's how you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah. And the three of us look at him and
Tim's good at that.
We're like, Tim, shut the fuck up. Like, that's not the time.
Yeah. It's like legit. Like, I know some cats that just would have been like,
that's a $250,000 truck right
day.
there. Like,
if Tim was within
away.
arm's reach,
because that
People
dude
tried picking the tire up.
That
was like, no,
people were trying to steal the tire.
Yeah, he was standing there.
Do not touch that.
He was standing there.
evidence.
That's evidence. They're probably taking a ton of pictures already.
Oh yeah, we watched a guy walk up and start just reach for it, and the guy just goes, "Don't touch that."
Yeah.
Oh
and he's
man.
Like,
It was wild to watch though because it was a Hellcat Challenger,
Right.
just starts doing the burnout and bang, rips the quarter panel off, set off the airbags in the car.
Wow.
And it launched, the
totaled the
entire carcass of the tire just flew straight through the air.
At the hood and the
roof.
The roof and the hood, just like bing bong.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, SEMA helps. Well, of course, a lot of people don't realize the whole point of SEMA is they're supposed to help fight legislation against not just the off-road industry, but the automotive.
I'm not knocking the organization by any means.
Well, I'm not necessarily the organization, but the SEMA show, I'll knock it all day long. I'll tell anybody. And I probably shouldn't because I'm the same way. I said the only way I'm going back is somebody pays me.
Right.
Like, you got to pay me to go to SEMA now.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
People, that's sometimes not enough.
Yeah.
Well,
You just sit in the booth
I
all
say that
week.
because the year that I went, I had also just been a judge for Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels had did their 50th anniversary tour, which now it's a yearly thing.
See, now you're name dropping again. I can't. We can't abide by that.
Well, I'm just I mean,
he's been in TV for so long.
Yeah,
it's
God, man.
It's just second nature.
I got again. The big man upstairs has really blessed my life. I say that all the time.
You can't claim you're a small boy from Front Royal anymore.
Let me just. I got Jesse James, my favorite.
No, it ain't like that. No,
Hold
it
on,
ain't
let me
like
call
that.
Bender real quick. We're gonna go judge a Hot Wheels convention.
So, they came to I didn't fly around. So the premise of the first one, the 50th anniversary tour for Hot Wheels, is they came to each major city.
Yep.
You brought a car in. If they liked it, your car would then get put at SEMA. And then whoever won that, they turned your vehicle into a Hot Wheels car.
Yeah, I remember
for
them
production.
doing that. Yeah.
Right. Which now they're doing a TV show, by the way.
Of course.
So, yeah. So I did. They're very
Who's hosting?
Available on streaming.
We can get to that in a minute.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway, it ain't me.
I was gonna say. I take it it's not Abe Wine.
But he doesn't want to name drop, so he's not going to tell us who it is.
No, there's information. Like you already know who it is. And I'm actually surprised they picked who they picked. No offense to that guy,
Now
but
I'm going to have to Google it.
yeah. Google up.
Google it right now.
So
Say it.
I did the 50th anniversary tour. It was the first one they did. I was super stoked. That was for me. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And I got to meet the head dude of like kind of Hot Wheels, and I actually
That's really cool.
Yeah, I still get I'm blessed. I still have him as a person I can talk to.
That's
So
awesome.
I leaned on him when I found out a few months ago that Hot Wheels was turning that premise kind of into a
Into a
TV
show.
show with NBC, basically.
That's awesome.
But it's
I
gonna
mean, I remember
it's going to be
seeing the
filmed
ads.
in the UK.
Okay.
It's going to be filmed in the UK.
Rutledge Wood.
Yeah, and that kind of, I'm like, you guys.
It makes sense, though.
You guys are
He's
NBC,
likable.
Yeah, but you could get you're NBC. You can get
Yeah.
Anybody.
It's
He's been
because
doing-
he's had that background with Top Gear and stuff.
yeah, but Hot
I
Wheels
was
has
just saying-
worked with like Kevin. I think they've worked with some big names.
Yeah.
But he's not really a small name anymore because like he's been doing a lot of the NASCAR commentating.
Yeah,
as
he has.
well.
Yeah, he has. He's
So
been
like,
getting into
it's
that.
not like he's like it's not like he
But does
disappeared
anybody
after
really
Top
pay
Gear.
attention to
Yeah.
NASCAR anymore? And you're talking to an Earnhardt kid here, so like,
Well,
don't
see
watch
that's the
NASCAR.
problem.
There's your answer.
I was that's the problem because Brian says the same thing. He said after Earnhardt he stopped watching because it's just not the same.
well, then when they changed all the rules, like
So much so that he has a tattoo.
Yep.
I am not like that.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Well,
yeah.
you're not from Culpeper,
Yeah.
which is the running joke. Because Brian's not from Culpeper either, but he's from Culpeper.
Brian says he's not from Culpeper.
He's adopted.
He's adopted by Culpeper.
Yeah, so they're doing that show. I put my again from where I'd already worked with Hot Wheels. I was like, hey man, He's like, yeah, how you doing? How's the kids? How's the family? I'm like, oh.
I took my nose ring out.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, I know about the show. I want to work. Like, I really enjoyed working with him. Don't know what that was.
Quiet, Carrie.
That'd be my dog.
Okay. So when I originally did
that was your wife. That was your wife.
Chasing my dog.
I didn't know a whole lot about the show, but I was like, hey, I really want to, because they were good people to work with when I did the Hot Wheels stuff. They're like I can attest to, like, they were just good people to work with. Brian Benedict, great guy.
Stop name dropping, man.
Well, what's cool is his brother actually lives here.
Oh.
His brother lives around here.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like where?
I know.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. But so I hit him. I was like, hey, man, I want to be on the show. He's like, Abe, it's funny you mentioned this at this day. I'm meeting with the producers in like a week. Sweet. Coincidentally, 3 days later, Bender hits me up and goes, hey, man, I name dropped you for a show. I'm like, oh, yeah, what's that? He goes, I interviewed. He actually got the interview for one of the spots.
Oh.
And I don't know. Sorry, Bender, but I don't think he got one of the spots. Neither one of us did because they never even called me because I've been kind of, yeah. I've been listed as difficult.
Oh. No.
That's my understanding. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I really don't care. Like if I get on,
See, and that's what makes you difficult because you don't give a shit.
yeah, no. When you look at a producer and go, hey, book my flight tomorrow because I don't need this shit. I actually have a skill set I can use in the real world tomorrow. I'll be making money tomorrow. Like I don't need your TV. They don't like that.
Yeah.
Because they like to be the important one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it's it.
So who specifically?
One of the higher ups. Like,
The guy who makes the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, pretty much. Like, and it was over something dumb, and I just remember how it was aggravating.
Like looking back, would you have handled it differently, or like if it happened to you today, would you still say, "Book my flight"?
I want to say I'm smarter now and say I would handle it differently.
No, you
but
wouldn't.
probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
because it was over something dumb. It
always is.
Yeah, it was over something dumb, and I'm like, and I called him out on it. Which Bender, like all four of us, is like we got our hands slapped so much for that. Like I wore a pro Second Amendment shirt. There's an episode if you go back and we'll look through them. Mm-hmm. I'm only headshots in that. Yeah, they blurred it out. I'm only headshots. And I wasn't even thinking because I wear that stuff on the right. Like it's a normal thing for me.
Right.
Like I don't care. And it wasn't nothing like no guns are on it. It was
Nothing
just like
excessive.
Yeah, it was like defend the second, and then it had like 1791, which was the year of the established 1791, and the real one had the 3%ers, like the 3 logo.
Yeah.
And he's like,
that's what did it.
Yeah, and he goes, that's considered some people consider that a terrorist organization.
Oh my God.
So then I pulled up my sleeve and I'm like, so what does that make me?
Yeah.
Because I have, the join or die with the snake going through the skull, and in the forehead of the skull, there's the logo.
Yeah.
That's just who I am. It's,
right.
It's one of the things I believe in. He's like, well, I was like, well, Grant, you can't see that because it's under, it's in my armpit area, so it's usually hidden. Unless when I had short sleeves on, you could see if I pull my sleeve up.
Yeah.
I raise my arm up or something.
Subtle enough, though.
Right. But it's something happened, and I'm like, you know what, man? If this is how it's going to be, book my flight, ship me back to where I'm from, because I'm back in the garage as soon as I get back, twisting wrenches, and my bills are paid. Yep. I don't need you to pay my bills.
Yep.
I don't, and that's one of the reasons I've been told. Again, I don't know if it's true. I've had some conversations with people. I like.
You're difficult because that guy says you're difficult.
Yeah, like somebody's like, well, you can't wrangle. It's hard to wrangle me. Let's just say that. I guess I don't know. Man, I don't know. Like it's
good TV though.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, I think that's.
I would love to go see the episode after you told him that, just to see if your demeanor changed. Like, watch you in the previous episode and just having fun, and then go to the next one and be like, I just told that guy to fuck off. Yeah.
The one guy told me, he goes, dude, you're like a light switch. He goes, you just turn it on and off when we need you to. Because that's what you're getting paid to do.
Right.
And it seems fake, but that's just, you're not paid there to be a dick.
Yeah.
You're not paid to be all moody and.
Well, it depends on who you are. But.
Well, this is true.
Yeah,
but
there are people who are paid to be moody.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't when it came time to actually do the show, I didn't want, it could have been any of y'all on the show, and I didn't want y'all to be like, I had a bad time on truck night because of Abe Wine.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't enjoy doing the show because of that guy was a prima donna or whatever. I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So I would try to just suck it up. Every once in a while, it would get to me, certain things, But for the most part,
I feel like
tried
that's
to
the industry,
suck it up. Though.
Like you hear that from a lot of people. It's a stressful environment.
Yeah.
So we're in Georgia. We did it in Georgia in August.
Yeah.
Georgia in
Not
August.
thick boy friendly.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Fat kid was hurting.
The Cove in August isn't.
Yeah,
boy
fat
friendly.
kid was hurting here, boys. There's a picture
That's
I
the
put.
South.
There's the picture I put up. Everybody's
the
making
deep
fun of us.
South.
There's Bender and I standing, and we had like an umbrella over us.
Oh no.
And we're like all like leaned up against the side by side, and they're like, "What are these prima donnas?" I'm like, "Bud,
I'm hot as
You ever
shit.
been to Georgia in August?
we're in Georgia in
You ever been
August,
fat?
and we usually got there at daybreak, and half the time we weren't leaving until the sun was down."
Right.
And there's no cover on that track either. Like all the trees were cut.
Yeah,
There's no cover in Georgia.
Well,
yeah.
in the woods you had it.
Skeeters, swamp ass,
Yep.
and water moccasins, man.
Oh.
Yeah. Which I mean, we have some of those around here, but still.
Which is
Yeah.
why this is as far south as I will ever go. I at least get 4 months out of the year where I'm not dying.
But I mean, I enjoyed it, man. I can't
Live or travel?
Live.
Ooh.
Okay.
Live. I wouldn't live any further south. Unless I go west.
See, he's from here, so he'd go a little further south, probably.
Well, yes. Well, my kids, and I love my kids. I hope they never take it the wrong way. But I've had opportunities to go other places and do some.
So what
Things
your kids are going to hear when they grow up is, I had an opportunity to say, "Fuck them kids."
No, but I stay because of my kids.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, as any good parent would.
Well, I don't know if that would call myself a good parent. Especially like you go out in the public with me and I do put my septum ring in and I'm covered in tattoos. Yeah.
We're in a day and age now. Tattoos don't mean shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
and
make
that's
you a
what's
bad
weird because I
person.
did hang around some of the tattoo spots, and I was around some old school guys,
Yeah.
that have been doing it for 30 years, and they tell me the stories of, I broke that guy's hands because he was tattooing in my area, and I'm like, oh,
Jesus.
Okay.
yeah. Old school stuff, burn their shops down, old school. Like it was almost gangs back.
I can't
years and
imagine
years
why
ago.
tattoos
Almost.
have a bad reputation.
Stop it. Yeah.
Hey, you still have to get your first
I
one,
know.
you
I
little bitch.
was thinking about this morning while I
You're
was
the
mowing
only
lawn.
virgin here.
I was thinking about this while I was I found the
like
sticker. I found the sticker. I'll give it to you before you leave, and then I just want to enhance it a little bit.
Enhance.
Enhance.
Yes.
Because it's my cozy
Shenanigans.
sticker that says off road.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah,
We're slowly reaching
it's-
the end of the episode now.
yeah, it really starts going off the rails. Holy shit!
Yeah, it's
Is it?
Oh, yeah, we should probably. This might be a part one, part two episode.
Yeah.
Hey,
good, though.
listen, if we're gonna do part 2, let's just keep going from
Oh,
there.
I think we're in part two.
yeah.
I think we're wrapping up part two.
I gotta be working at 7. I don't care. So no, it's cool.
Yeah, PJ's got to be at work early too.
Yeah. But I got
Three of
a
us
much
do.
further drive to get back to my
Yeah,
cabin.
that's true.
I'm surprised my wife hasn't texted me yet because I was like, yeah, we'll finish up by 8:30.
Yeah, it's actually maybe that's why she was making noise.
But it's it's been a fun ride, guys. It really
Yeah.
I and because of the truck stuff, I get to do some other stuff, cool stuff like working with Scratch, the old school hot rodder, pinstriper, just world renowned builder. If you don't know who he is, I really suggest if you like any of that stuff to look up Scratch. But he come up to our area, hung out with me for a week, helped him restore a truck for Shawnee Springs Cannery and Shawnee Springs Market of Winchester. In
Been
Gross
following
Junction.
that too.
Right. And I was like, hey, man, I got to save this original lettering from the 50s that somehow survived, and you're
That's cool.
one of the best I know of. And he's like, just, pay me what I would normally work in a week, and I'll come up and hang out for the whole week. We can do whatever you want to do. I'll help you. Well, whatever, because he's actually jack of all trades. He's talented. He really is. So he came up and helped me knock out a bunch of stuff out. And
That's
just,
awesome.
So because of, just doing 2 seasons of that, I've been able to do other things.
Yeah.
One of the things I should have done was drove the first, the Bronco that Bender built that won the first King of the Hammers. about 3 years ago, Damon Hopper, who now doesn't own it, hits me up and goes, "Hey man, you want to? I'm doing this exhibition run of hammers in the OG Bronco. Do you want to be my co-driver?"
And you said no?
I said yes originally. And some things didn't work out the way I wanted them to. I'm not going to get into too many details, but I missed that opportunity. I was supposed to be there. Rich Klein was helping him out. Damon Hopper had it. Super nice guy. And Rich was kind of helping him kind of fumble, quote unquote, fumble his way through it. And I don't even know if he completed. I can't remember if he completed a lap or not, but I was supposed to be co-driver of that rig in that exhibition run. Yeah. And now he does. I heard he sold it to Dave Cole. That's what I heard.
Okay.
That's I don't know. I told Brian the other day at the shop. I was like, we're racing hammers in the next 5 years. Like that's at this point, it's a goal.
After some videos that I seen come about with some people I knew, and I don't think. Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm not like.
Look, we're not going to argue about checkpoints.
Yeah, I'm not trying to win it.
I'm not going off the track by 50 feet. Go through the checkpoint.
Well, anyway, sorry. We'll shut up. This is the problem when you know too many people. Like, it's
Well,
you can't say anything.
Yeah,
because if you don't piss off one person,
you're pissing off another. Yeah, exactly. You're damned if you.
And you also know it. You know all the
you know all the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
All we get to see.
Because it was funny because I remember when some of that happened. Like PJ and I were going back and forth, and he goes, "Well," I was like, "Well," and he's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Well,"
he gave me some good insight on that.
Yeah, it was just.
Well, goddamn it, PJ.
We'll save that for the unrecorded part 3.
Yeah.
No, we won't talk about that. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I'm gonna shut up.
It's just a bucket list thing for us, really.
And don't get me wrong. It's like if somebody offered me the opportunity, again,
that's what we say.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's like I'm one of those people. I hate that drama. Like the fire department shit has taught me just stay. Stay out.
Oh God, yeah. For you,
the worst,
I imagine. Yeah.
The worst adult drama you can come up with is any level of organization that is a volunteer organization.
Politics and
and I get it all the time.
Especially with the volunteer organization because they all want to be the special person because nobody's getting paid.
Right. And like I get asked all the time like, "Oh, like are you coming to the event?" Like, "No. I'm just here to ride fire trucks. I like riding fire trucks.
Right.
That's all I want to do. I don't want to be any part of the rest of this."
Right.
And it's like that's taught me to just do it for myself, right?
Yep.
Like I want to race King Hammers because I want to say I built a race car. If I finish the race, fucking A, that's awesome. But like all I want to do is say I've done it. I don't care about I don't want to be an Ultra 4 team. I don't need a big race production. Right. If I can do it without sponsors, I'm going to do it without sponsors. Right. If you want to give me money, give me money. Like I'm going to do it regardless.
Yep.
Like I'm not in this to be a professional race car driver. I just want to do it.
It sucks because I've bugged Rich Klein for years now. One, to bring Trail Hero to the East Coast, to do an East Coast version. Yeah. So we've do it at the Cove. Do it. No, we can't actually.
Damn it.
Well, there's some other politics I'll get into with them two brothers that I'm not even going to get into right now.
Yeah, I'm sure we can tag into some of that too.
Yeah,
but
shut your yappas. But no, so we've tried to bring we've looked at areas to bring. I'll be honest, we've looked at areas of trying to bring trail here to the East Coast. It's right now, I would say it's probably on pause just because the economy is just so wishy-washy and things are so you just don't know what direction things are going to go right now. That's one of our biggest holdups. Yeah. And two, I bring that up because I had pushed Rich also. I'm like, when things got weird a few years ago in Ultra 4, I was like, hey man, you should start a race series. You're really good at what you do. He's like, I don't want that drama. Right. It's exactly what you said. He doesn't want. He's friends with everybody, and he doesn't want to, tick anybody off. He doesn't want to make enemies.
Yeah.
Yep.
He just wants to have a cool event, so he doesn't want to start a race series. And I keep, man, you should totally start a race series, but he won't do it. And I understand why, because again, like you said, it's just politics and drama, man.
And if you want it to be successful, you almost have to. You have to.
You got to play the game. You got to play the game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got to let people bend the rules and cheat and push the innovation.
All I'm saying is when you're one of the biggest names in racing and you tell them to get bent when they're sponsored by Monster Energy and Ford,
And on that bombshell,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying.
I get it. Yeah.
I don't.
It's a fine line.
I don't know if
Like so fine you can't see it.
I don't know if my rant was on the podcast or it was just another day at the shop, but I've had a couple rants on some of the social media dramas of racing lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is,
it was both.
It probably was both, to be honest.
Yeah, and honestly, I have my opinion. Like we all have opinions, right, guys? I mean, that's what a podcast is, really, right?
Yeah.
It's just all of our opinions.
Yeah.
I say what I say.
I mean, ours are right. But
You're entitled to it, even if it's wrong.
Yeah,
right.
I think I'm usually wrong more than anything.
No.
But right or wrong, everybody has their opinion, and I could be wrong. Like, and that I'm not. Who am I to be the authority? Like, I'm not trying to be the authority. Like, oh, I know better because I know so and so. Really, I shouldn't even speak on it because I'm not a part of the series.
Right.
I'm not in it. Who the hell am I to?
yeah, but that's when you can have the strongest opinion.
Yeah,
when you're not involved.
Yeah,
with
just
it
ask
in
the
any
internet.
When you actually know nothing about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's how it is on the internet. So
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
right. You're wrong.
If you got a keyboard,
Oh, I got such a bad joke about that. It just popped in my head because you said, "Oh man."
We probably should wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's
Only
a couple
been
hours.
like 3 hours, I think.
This is definitely our longest episode.
It's good though.
well,
Yeah.
if you have like. Now's the time if you want to replug anything because it's been 3
Well,
hours.
most people have probably shut the episode off.
Yeah. No, nobody's listening. Like, who is this Abe Wine guy? Why did they even have him out? Hey man, I'm just doing my thing. I do have a YouTube channel now. I'm slowly building it out. I'm trying to figure it out. It's a lot different when you go from. It's a humbling experience right now building the YouTube channel because when you go from you've been translated to like 3 or 4 languages, 50 million views, more than 50 million views I think at this point worldwide, and now you're like
doing it on your own.
Yeah,
I
have to do everything on my own now.
My name's Abe.
Yeah, exactly. And then like my video hit like 2,500 views, like. Woo!
Yeah.
And
we get excited when we go like, we had 300 listens on the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it's definitely a humbling experience now that I have the YouTube channel. It's ShopRat Metalworks, just like my business, shopratmetalworks.com, which actually I'm actually in competition with you technically because technically, but I don't care. I support.
Dude,
I tell people to go wherever they feel comfortable.
We have so much. There's
so
so much
far
work
away.
around here. It's not even that. There's like we've got shops 20 minutes down the road from us, and both of us are out of parking,
right?
Talking about expansion. Like there's so much work. I don't have any.
That's how
competition against.
And the thing is,
still be friendly with competition.
Yeah, exactly. And
you just because someone's your competition doesn't mean you have to be a dick about it.
Right? Absolutely, I 100% agree. So technically we're competition. I don't care.
Yeah.
If they were more comfortable, by all means go to you. And I don't take in a lot of work because again, ShopRat's a side project of mine. It has been for years.
Yep.
Like right now, I'm doing this old truck for Shawnee Cannery. I don't have time to take it. I had somebody hit me up today. Oh, I can't remember if it was a re-gear or something. I was like, I just don't have time.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't have time.
Yep.
I have a few key people I'll take care of.
Yep.
And I'm very selective of what I even do now.
Yeah.
My focus is so much on trying to get this truck done for these people.
Yeah, I get that.
Because they're also family friends, which makes it even harder.
Oh. Yeah.
So yeah,
yeah. Got a couple of those right now.
Truck time yet?
Yeah. But they pay me good and they take care of me, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now, YouTube channel, you can find me there. Obviously, Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. I don't care where you go off-roading, just go off-roading. Yeah. Clean up after yourselves.
Yep.
Absolutely.
East Coast is starting to get really bad about that.
Yep.
And we're private land. It's not like the West.
Yep.
I would love to get on the argument sometime, East versus West, because I've done both. Obviously.
We will gladly have you back, dude.
And I'm from here, so
Yeah.
Trail Hero, I love those guys. They support Full Wheel to Heel. They support so many great groups. Rich Klein is awesome. Like, you guys don't understand how awesome Trail Hero is. I highly suggest making the pilgrimage there.
Yeah.
Hot rod wise, of course, check out my buddy Scratch. badass hot reel butter. And of course, Dirt Nerds. You guys gotta keep coming here, right?
Yeah, well, everybody knows us.
Yeah, well,
if you're listening at this point, you know us.
Yeah.
Within 25 square miles.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
No. We get all the way down to like Harrisonburg.
Yeah. And you
So
get up to
within
the
100
Cove.
square miles.
That's more than 25 miles from the Cove for the year.
Yeah, roughly.
And of course, PJ just went to AOAA,
Yep.
so that's cool.
Yeah, we gotta go back.
Yeah, we do.
Have you guys been to Reading yet?
No, not yet.
I have, but as a photographer for one of the races.
I met one of the quote unquote owners.
Yeah.
And we were trying to years ago, right after season 2 ended, we were like, hey, we should do something. Yeah, we should. And then it just nothing
Fizzled
kind of
out.
it just kind of fizzled out. I was actually offered to be the manager up there at one point.
I was just wow.
Before. So if the manager of that place here, it was before you, man. Like it was, it was a while. It was a while. This is years ago.
You got the job. I
feel like
down.
they've started to go more ATV side by side.
Well, because that's what
where the money is.
Well, it's the
Yeah.
industry. So like Trail Hero, they do both,
Right.
Because they have you had Ken Block coming out
Well,
there.
yeah, but also
And
the
Casey
West
Curry.
Coast. The West Coast guys are way more into the side by side stuff, like all that the Utah deserts and all that shit.
Well, you
like
can open up
bomb it.
more there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can really open up there. But I mean,
Around
you got
here, there's not a lot of places you can just really rip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
half the fun of the side by sides is
Well, it's
going fast.
It's cool because you have like Dustin Battleaxe Jones. He's a pro Can-Am guy, and it's one of the only times I get to see and talk to him. Really nice guy, but he'll go hit the rocks, and then he wants to go rip through the sand. Like he wants to do everything like
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Well,
So
so-
I mean, it makes sense.
yeah.
But I'm sorry, some of the crazy stuff you can do out on that Red Rock is insane.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
You're like a 30-foot deep groove, and you're just
Yep.
it's nuts. It's so crazy.
Yep. Good times.
Not
All right,
better,
well-
just different.
Well,
Yes and no. Yes and no.
yeah.
Because I trust me, all the arguments you guys use for the East, like, oh, we got trees. Oh, don't hit that cactus.
Yeah.
Like, I've used the same arguments.
Well, don't hit it; you'll get arrested.
Yes. Yeah, well, out there you will.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's a protected species.
Yeah.
That's not a
So-
joke.
but this
But-
is you have to know which cactus you can and can't
Also
hit.
true.
But,
I would not recommend hitting any of them. They hurt.
yeah. I mean, you have the trees here, you have the mud. It is slicker, but.
We'll
like,
give you Oregon and Washington. You got some trees, whatever.
Right, but out there, like, man, you're literally, like, so when we did Trailbreaker 3 years ago.
See, he fits in well. He doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah. No, so when we did Trailbreaker out
Enter
Trail Hero.
part 3.
Yeah. So when we did Trailbreaker at Trail Hero 3 years ago, Rich purposely designed this one spot. You were over like a 50 or 60-foot drop.
Oh yeah, the scale is.
And you were you
unreal.
literally had like a few inches and you
Yeah,
screwed up and it was like, really hope your cage is held together.
Yeah.
Like hope your
Yeah,
buggy was
there's
built.
no comparison to the size scale.
So,
of
for
sure.
stuff.
So I lived in Colorado for a couple years, not
Right.
far from Moab.
Right.
And like when we did our SEMA road trip and we came back and we cut through where I used to live, the two of them had never been out that way.
Right.
And like I'm driving around going, oh yeah, it's like I think we're like 9,000 foot elevation right now, and like PJ's just got the camera out the window, like
Fucking awesome.
It's insane,
Where
right?
are we?
It's insane.
yeah, it's a
you can
completely
see
different.
for miles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's nuts.
It's another planet.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, for us it is because
Yeah.
if you've been here and BJ and I
Right.
being from this area.
The thing I always found amazing though was when I met people out there. They're like, "Oh, you're from like the East Coast?" Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like oh, like I love the like the Blue Ridge Mountains are so
Yeah,
beautiful,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like,
Go to Colorado.
are you blind?
Go to Utah.
Yeah.
No, but that's growing up with it. Like, oh, that's just mountains in the
Yeah,
background.
the Shenandoah Valley.
They don't
You
get
get- you
they don't
get
get
used to
color
it.
changing leaves. You know,
leafers.
Ever.
yeah.
Flipping leaf. God, flipping leafers. That's another tangent I'll get on. But so no, Shop Rat Metalworks.
Yeah.
Support you guys. Just just support whatever you can when you can. I know
Yeah.
times are getting tough for a lot of us,
100%.
but
Yep.
Yeah.
do what you got to do, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
well, thanks
I
for
really
pleasure having you on.
Yeah, no, I
gladly,
thank you guys so
gladly
much.
have you back, and we'll
Absolutely,
definitely.
we can
yeah,
talk
we'll
about
definitely do
anything.
this again. Go
Yeah,
wheeling.
absolutely.
Maybe
I gotta-
we can
I gotta
do
get
a
a
phone
rig
one
together.
with Bender.
Yeah, no, I'll try to. I'll actually hit him up tomorrow. I'm like,
You
hey,
can
man.
use Trevor's Comanche because he's never going to use it.
So
I have a small
I
child.
built.
He jokes. He's about to have a kid too. Like he's gonna have any fucking
but my
time.
Jeep.
Well, that's the
doesn't
reason.
run. It doesn't
It
run.
will.
Shut the
It
fuck
will.
up.
I got the head. The heads are back from Evan. They're sitting in the
The
garage.
old- so I
the
take that back.
gaskets are ready to go.
If the missus will let me use
Mine
the JKU,
runs.
I have a JKU.
Yeah, we'll be gentle on it.
Because we kind of have to be.
Is it stock?
Yeah. Well, yes.
Rubicon?
No, it's a Sahara. So what it was, I did a Copart build for her.
Okay.
Because I'm poor. I'm telling you,
that's the best value in the automotive world.
Right. So I got a Copart build, got it for under half of what. So it was a 2015 JKU, been wrecked.
Welcome to part 4.
Yeah, it had 80,000 miles. It has 80,000 miles on it.
Nothing.
Right. So one of the spots it had damage was the rocker. Well, I already know what I'm getting. I'm getting a set of crusher sliders for Motobilt.
Yeah.
Yep. Called out Motobilt. Hey, I'm actually a dealer for Motobilt, by the way. Anybody wants Motobilt?
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug all day long, especially for my homie Bender. I got love for my homie Bender. So it was, but I didn't get to do the rear guard. Like she wanted to keep the factory square tail lights. Because that's what she likes. That's what she wanted.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, that's right. That's exactly. So we did Smitty build. I wanted to do the moto builds to do the round tail light conversion. Anyway,
you could have just cut a square hole in the motor build.
Because doing that, you're going to rip the tail light off it. I told her, look,
wrong.
I'll do it. But after the second tail light gets knocked out, it's getting switched.
We're doing it my way.
Yeah, and she reluctantly agreed. God bless her. So yeah, it's like 35s on like Pro Comps.
Okay.
Pro Com wheels
Stock
and tires. Jeep. Yeah, stock Jeep.
Yeah.
I got the gussets in for the Dana 30 to do that.
Stock Jeep.
Terraflex. There was some actual Terraflex already on it when we got it.
Okay.
Yeah, but open front and back.
Yeah.
Is it silver?
It is murdered out.
Okay.
It's
I was just asking. That's what I had on mine.
Yeah, PJ and I talk back and forth. PJ's seen it. It's like gold Pro Comp wheels on black, black on black.
It's a good look.
And then, the gold. Which now, I've had some stuff I've done to it on YouTube, and now all of a sudden there's like 2 of them that just popped up in the Winchester area from one place. I'm like, oh, of course. All right.
Yeah.
Mine. Well, I documented mine. A year
Been
ago.
through that before.
Yeah, I documented the build a year ago, so I really don't care.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But it's nothing special. It's got the chopped down fenders on it.
Yeah.
I'm a moto built. Shameless moto build.
So nice.
Hey.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
I think we're installing a bunch of moto built stuff 2 weeks. I think on the
We
calendar.
just did something.
Honestly,
not too long ago.
if Bender had went somewhere else, it's because of Bender.
Oh, yeah.
I support I'm a firm believer supporting the people support you.
Yeah.
Like I've always talked. Like PJ hits me up anytime. He'll tell you, like, I'll hit him right back within usually a day. Yeah. If not sooner. I support those who support you, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all about.
Anytime I do moto build stuff, I send him pictures.
Yeah. I'm all about it.
I don't know what he got him powder coated yet, but the full crusher sliders and inner and outer fender flares.
Yeah. Well, here's something else.
Which ones? My Poison Spider ones?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
So, and this is across the automotive industry as a whole, but Motobilt makes everything in-house.
Yep.
So there's other companies where they only have like 20 employees because they design it, they do it, and it gets sent to some laser place that has nuts, and then
What?
I know what he's talking about.
Then it gets cut out, and then it might get welded out at another place, or they weld it out back at their location. Motobilt is 100% in-house.
Yeah,
that's why he has an 80,000 square foot facility.
I have a bone to pick with them because they took way too long to develop the Highline YJ flares that they just released.
Yeah, well,
and I
take their time.
I was holding out. Well,
they were building a complete short bed setup for the new.
Yeah, I know.
They had
prioritized.
We don't want your excuses. Okay?
I'm just
saying, take it up with Bender.
We just want Bender's phone number. We'll take it up with him. Okay.
I have a YJ that's stretched, and I was waiting for those fender flares to come out, and I finally was like, "Fuck it, I'm not waiting," and I started building. and then what? 2 weeks ago, they were like, "These will be available for pre-order soon." I'm like, "You."
I sent those to Freddie, and Freddie was like, "Stop sending me porn."
So Bender's actually also been building out a first gen Bronco. They're gonna design a few parts for that as well.
Okay.
So it's Dan, the owner, is like on this whole YJ kick right now, and he's building.
God damn it, that's gonna get expensive.
People hate on the YJ,
but you got to remember,
Square Headlight Squad.
Yeah,
you got to remember it's all an R&D for them because he's been like, I'm telling you, Bender and him are building this sick. The Motobilt crew is building a very sick YJ. That's all I can say. I've seen.
I got to get on my shit.
Sick. It is nasty. It will decimate it's gonna crush.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be badass.
Hey, I'm too poor to compete.
Look, if they want to do test runs, we are fucking down.
Yeah,
Have they done Comanche stuff
like,
yet?
If they want like East Coast testing, like I got a YJ in the garage just begging for some parts. Mostly
so a lot of
heads.
these parts, that's what I'm saying. So it's just R&D for them.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to get a lot of this stuff here soon.
Yeah, by the time it comes out, I'm not going to need it.
Well,
Or he's too poor to buy it.
Well,
That's my problem.
I can guarantee you, I'm going to be too poor to afford it.
I'm a dealer for them, and I'm too poor half the time.
Well, I joke that I had to start the business to fund my Jeep, and I still can't fund my Jeep
Exactly.
because I started a business.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
It's a really
Oh, do you want to
weird-
do T-shirts? Oh, T-shirts have went up. It's like a $3,000 minimum more. Screw you.
Yeah.
That's the one that
You must
like,
order 250 at one time. Oh, fuck
yeah.
off.
that's the one that gets me. Is like you get the spam emails where it's like, oh, order T-shirts 99 cents each. You're like, oh yeah, and you keep reading, and it's like all you have to do is order 10,000. I'm
Yeah.
like,
So it's still $10,000.
yeah. It's like
Sticker Monkey, Rockin' Monkey, or whatever.
Sticker
it is.
Mule.
Stick a mule.
There's some
Sticker Mule is
monkey
actually
one.
pretty affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get me. They send me, hey, you're on sale. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not bad because you get like 500 stickers for $50. Like,
Which I'm an ass. That's what I meant to bring with me, and
oh,
God, you motherfucker.
That's fine.
so they're getting shipped to PJ.
Yeah, there you go.
And I get shirts and all.
Cool.
Because that was expensive. That hurt. Yeah, that hurt.
get that one. Yeah, we're still working on that one.
Yeah, it hurts.
If PJ
I have
finished some
feel you, man. It
designs.
hurts.
Hey, fund an iPad for me, and I'll get on it.
Wow, that's not
Wow, that was aggressive.
fun.
Nor-
you want to just borrow?
Yeah. Normally it's just a, if you pay me. Now it's a, buy me an iPad.
Well, see, that's what I have people. So
Actually got a little bit cheaper, didn't it?
shameless plug on the YouTube channel. Like, I got Scratch Stick on. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome for me. I even if I didn't have the YouTube channel, I still would have done it because I wanted to work with the guy.
Yeah.
I've seen him forever. We've talked. So after SEMA, sidetrack note. After SEMA,
Oh, this is going to be a massive
Part
sidetrack.
4.
Yeah, part 4. This is part 5.
Tim said we had to get a couple episodes in.
There you go.
so
73 part
So I go to
interview.
SEMA. I do SEMA, the whole SEMA thing, which we've already talked about, or what we don't like about SEMA. So I go. I have to leave early. I fly in LA because I got to do some audio work for the show for Truck Night, and that's where we filmed our final recap episodes. Was out in LA in a shop. Where they built a lot of the Fast and Furious cars.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So when they were one of the last Fast and Furious movies, I was seeing the cars before they went
shit.
to the movie.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like the Charger that had like the jet motor hanging out. Like Dom.
yeah.
So I seen that. I have somewhere I have pictures of that car before he was even on
That's
set.
awesome.
That's cool.
So we filmed in that shop. But anyway, I don't know anybody in LA. I'm some dumb hillbilly kid from out here in Cross Junctionville, Virginia, Winchestertonville, Virginia.
You thought our traffic was bad.
Right. Yeah. So I go to LA. Don't know anybody. I'm Ubering everywhere.
So then you found the speakeasy behind a phone booth.
I hit up Scratch. I'm like, Scratch, I'm in LA. I'll be there in 30 minutes. We're gonna go hang out.
Oh, so he's only like 3 blocks away.
3 blocks. Try a block. and a
It
half.
probably wasn't actually 30 minutes, but it was basically, hey, I'm coming through to pick you
Yeah.
up. He takes me to like every traditional hot rodding spot in LA. The original
cool.
Bob's Big Boy when all
Nice.
the cruising
Oh.
stuff's happening. Like he just takes me to all the old school hot rod stuff.
It really pains me that stuff's in LA.
Yeah. But it was cool for me because I just did SEMA and I'm like, to me, this is like almost
Better.
cooler
Pilgrimage.
than
Yeah.
SEMA.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll say it every time. The shit in the parking lot's always better than what's in the show.
Yep.
Always.
just about. I remember
We
somebody
wanna
got
start
on a
a
TIFF.
shitbox section.
Yeah, somebody got on a TIFF on like one of the SEMA Facebook groups because he built some gnarly rig, and it was an off-road based rig, and it was blowing up the internet. That particular, this is like 2 years ago, I think. And he gets on the review. He goes, "If you assholes just would have told me I had to pay more to be inside because you have the outside, like people don't have the outside." He goes, "Why didn't y'all just tell me that from the start?" He goes, "I would have paid more to be inside," and people don't realize it's pay to play, baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pay to
absolutely.
play.
100%.
Yep.
Nothing beats the chain smoker, though.
But you're talking about Bender. The reason I say it is because support my YouTube channel.
Ugh.
Besides guys like Scratch, I want to bring other people. Like I want to bring Bender in.
Yeah.
I want to bring like other people in to build stuff.
Dude, all you have to do is ask us, man. I'm telling you. Like,
Yeah, I
We
mean,
have a YouTube channel.
Ask you, what are you going to build?
I don't fucking know.
We'll help.
I'll cook.
Hey,
Yeah, that's actually.
I'm a fat kid. What's up?
You know how like in Gone in 60 Seconds, like Fred can order pizza like nobody's business.
Fred's can order.
Trevor
Gotta
can
eat.
Trevor can, but like not jokingly, Trevor is probably one of the best cooks I've ever like been around.
I'm down.
And I dated a chef for a while. Like,
put it this way, he's from just outside Manhattan, right? Like they're obsessive about their pizza, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got him to put toppings that were not intended to be on pizza.
If it's pineapple,
On a pizza.
It was not pineapple. Don't worry.
It was not
Okay, good.
pineapple.
But
It was jalapeno cream sauce.
the two factors. You say that.
You say that.
I say it, and I'll stick by it after I try. I'm willing to bet I won't like it.
Do you not like jalapenos?
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan.
Or do you like tacos?
Who doesn't like tacos? Though?
Have you? Okay, hold on. So,
I'm not a jalapeno person.
Yeah.
but it's not jalapenos. Like it's
It's
I don't even know what I can compare.
It's okay
it
if we
to.
don't look in each other in the eyes. It doesn't make it okay, boys.
Hey, $20 is $20.
It's
I'm just saying.
another episode.
Yeah.
It's another
So
episode.
no, I would. So I have the JKU. I have like another Copart build that I didn't fit.
Jesus.
I'm supposed to be getting all the paper.
Copart's dangerous.
It is. It is so dangerous.
So dangerous.
I found a 2006 Power Stroke 6.0. Short bed, 3-door. $2,800.
Oh,
I put batteries in it, and I drove it off the trailer when I got home.
That's fantastic.
It was a flood victim.
Yeah.
so
I'm
you
like,
did
yeah,
the smart
sure.
thing. You didn't
I
put the
was-
battery in it
I was
before you
watching.
left.
I was watching a 2018 Denali Duramax.
I remember that one.
That had a dash fire.
I hate Durs. Zuzu diesel.
Hater. You can hate all you want.
I hate them because their injectors are $550 a pop.
And on that bombshell,
Which is why I hired a diesel
this is going
tech.
to be another 3 hours.
Which is why I hired a diesel tech to continually put injectors in my truck every 2 years.
Yes, it's true.
That's how I met Brian. Like he literally,
See, I told you.
his buddy put an ad out on Facebook that said, I'm a diesel tech apprentice looking for side work. I'm laid off during COVID.
Yeah.
And I bought the truck and I'm like, I know it needs injectors. I don't want to deal with it.
So, my family shop, we won't work on Duramaxes
Really?
because we don't like the layout. They're like to us, they're annoying.
Yeah. I don't work on them either. I love driving it. I love the truck.
Cummins and Power Stroke. Well,
Yeah.
not after the 6. Like I won't work on a lot of the newer.
Yeah.
I work on enough of the newer big rig stuff. I don't want to learn
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
new
yeah.
pickup
Oh,
stuff. It's a disaster.
Yeah, it's a
I
nightmare.
started to learn some of it, and I'm like, you know what?
It's all electronics.
They're gonna ban it by 2030
Yeah.
anyway. So what the hell's the point?
Well, that's starting to get reversed, but
That's a third episode.
yeah. It's another rant.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another rant.
Oh boy.
Sure, yeah. Yeah,
now it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I was like, we definitely don't have time for that rant. All right, well, I'm gonna cut this one off here.
Wow, you?
Thanks for listening, everybody. Check us out,
seriously,
DirtNerdsOffroad.com. All our normal socials. I'm not going to list them all because this is already a 3-hour
Yeah.
episode. So
But again, thank you, Abe.
No,
Yeah,
thank you
thank
guys
you.
for
Thank
having
you
me.
so
Thank you
much,
so
man.
much
for coming on.
Seriously.
It was
Yeah.
great.
I have a feeling we'll have to do this
yeah.
again.
Definitely do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully on video next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
our next.
That way we can
bit.
catch all
Flip
this.
flip all the
Yeah.
my hand gestures.
Gotta- yeah.
I talk with my hands for you guys that can't
Yeah,
see.
it's fine.
That's why. That's,
And I'm like,
That's why the
I've had to
quote-unquote
learn to
came
literally
from.
sit on my hands when we do the podcast because I'll do this.
yeah.
Everyone will
Touch it.
Yeah. That's you. Yeah.
And on that bombshell, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Do you want more ridiculousness from the Dirt Nerds? Check out DirtNerdsOffroad.com. It'll link to all of our social media as well as our YouTube page, and you can pick up some sweet merch to help support the podcast and other adventures.